Won't let me. Hey guys, it's Aaron here, and welcome back to another live stream. Sorry, we've had a few technical difficulties just trying to get this up and running tonight. So I've got Jason here from AHP again, of course, and yeah, it's been a very, very interesting and busy week for the shooting community. Tonight, this morning, they just banned the PC charger in New South Wales, so we'll interesting and busy week. And we're going to talk about the extended, our series we've been doing on long-range shooting. So how you going, Jason?
Not bad, man. What's going on? We had some technical difficulties with the intro. It just wasn't working. So
exactly.
We just not to play the intro because we already wasted 3 minutes, so we'll just get straight into it, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. A bit of echo and everything. So, guys, I hope you can all hear this right and it's all going good. So, how's your week been?
Not bad. Going away tomorrow. So I'm doing this live stream, and then when I finish this, I'll be pretty much straight in bed and then getting up at about 3:30 to go shoot some rabbits long range. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Sounds about the time I get up for work.
I never get up this early. Like 4 o'clock in the morning. Who gets up that early?
Me, every single day.
Crazy. I wouldn't do that. I would get another job.
Yeah, exactly. Got to be an office worker. So I've had a busy week as well. I took the we are going to show the new PRC build that I've done. It is finally finished, got it back, and it looks awesome. So I'll run you through the gun later on in the show. It is unbelievable. It really was. I took it out for a shot, and I was impressed, and but had a couple of little difficulties with it, but that will be overcome. So the PC charger.
We're staying too early yet. Don't forget, last week was the biggest ever live stream. It's just crazy.
Oh, it was. Sorry. Yes. That was the biggest live stream we ever had. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and making it such a success. It was unbelievable. It was like, 3,000 people we had watching the show. Oh, we already got our first live chat.
Super
chat, sorry. From JR again, $5. Hi, gents. Sorry I missed the show last week. I'm looking forward to tonight. I received a sticker. Jace looks awesome. Thanks heaps, mate. Thank you so much, JR, for that live chat. The super chat. That is awesome.
I know. We started off on a shocker because we were trying to scramble around trying to get this thing working. So anyway, first off, I've got to subscribe. Tell them all that first. Do all that business first.
Yeah. Guys, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this, there's 89 people right now watching. Hit the subscribe button and find Jason and me on all our social networks. We are it's in the description, and you'll find us there on Instagram, Facebook, Parler. Jason's got his podcast, a link to his podcast, everything. You can find us there. So please subscribe to the channel. And we're both on Patreon. So if you like what either of us do, please feel free to help subscribe to Patreon and help us get a bit further and get ahead. Jason has the largest podcast for hunting in Australia. He has the most successful and longest running as well, isn't it?
Yeah, almost 10 years next year. Can you believe it, man? People normally go a couple of years, then drop off. But some people have gone 4 years and inevitably drop off. 10 years is a long time. That's a decade podcasting. Can you believe it?
Know.
I'm almost 49.
A decade of your life gone, just like that.
Who would have thought, man? Just enjoy your life while you can, guys. Get into guns, start shooting, and enjoy your lives because soon you won't be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, you'll be 50 like me, almost.
With bad eyesight.
Yeah, bad eyesight, and bad hearing. But I can still, as we're going to talk about later on in the show, I can still outshoot you long range.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so first one we're going to talk about, PC charger. We were actually wrong last week about that. I just naturally assumed because, New South Wales is probably one of the worst states to have gun ownership. I know because I reapplied for my gun license on, I think it would have been around February 12th of this year and expired around April 24th, and it's still authority continues. Yeah, I applied up before it expired, so my authority continues, but almost 7.5, almost 8 months into the fact, I still don't have I don't. Yeah, they haven't renewed my license. So what's taken so long? 8 months almost to renew a license. Ridiculous.
Oh, the whole thing's a shambles. Yes, and I was actually going to come on tonight and apologise to Jason, because Jason wants to buy one of these PC chargers because he's a pistol license as well. And I was going to apologise because I got my facts wrong. I was misinformed last week. And I found out they were legal until this morning. And I literally just got off the phone with a viewer from the show who's a top bloke, and he informed me on everything. But before we start, before it disappears, Stan here, another super chat. Hi guys, great show. All the best from COVID Central Melbourne / Mexico. Yes, I hope you're staying safe and well and haven't got the old Wuhan bug or whatever they want to call it these days. It's been an interesting week with that as well. So thank you very much, Stan. Really appreciate that. The Ruger Charger. It's got my review coming out tomorrow. I filmed the whole review. It's out tomorrow, and I'm not going to give too much away, but it's interesting. I point out the pros and cons of the gun, and it's a lot of fun. And you would have loved it, Jason. I'm sorry to rub it in your face, but you would have had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I know some people were messaging me going, "Oh, it's not banned in New South Wales." I don't know if they were trying to rub it in for a bit of fun or just have a laugh, but I'd hate to see them banned. But I was surprised actually that in New South Wales it wasn't actually banned. So here we are, a week later, and people have gone out, purchased them, taken them home, only had it for 2 days, and then guess what? Right now they got their hand in their gun. Will they be compensated for it? What about if they haven't shot it? Are they be able to return it to the shop? What are they going to be able to do? Again, you people should be able to get all their money back, whether that's through the gun shop, whether that's through compensation, whether that's through the importer, whatever it may be. I mean, these people have to be compensated. They bought this gun in good faith, so you have to be compensated. But again, most of us inevitably end up talking about compensation. No one ever talks about actually fighting these bastards. So, again, another gun ban, again, another time that the organizations won't do a single thing about it. The guys you're paying your money to won't do a single thing about it.
Well, prove that this week. If you go onto my Facebook, you'll see a letter about the Ruger charges from the Shooters Union. Just absolutely pathetic. A legal gun here in Queensland won't give you the letter. All I heard was excuse after excuse after excuse. It's not good enough in my eyes when you're paying an organisation. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but what I found out from a guy who has got the phone call about give me your gun back that you've legally purchased and you've been on order, and we've known about this gun for a long time. So they could have banned it from square one before people paid their money. That's what I don't understand. The gun comes out, then they ban it. So people have brought it. They know about these guns for a fact. They know about these guns for months and months and months ahead of time because they got to be submitted and okayed for your state. So I just don't. Why do they wait till people have paid their money and they get it in their hands, then ban it? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I know exactly why, because they're just arseholes that want to make our lives as difficult as they possibly can. Maybe the police had a say. Police generally make the laws in this country. They don't enforce them. They often get in their head into, government ministers and the police commissioner who go, I've got to get this gun banned. And what do? Absolutely nothing. Organisations do sweet FA, and they've been doing sweet FA for 20 years.
Well, the organisations are meant to have more power than what a civilian, you and me, would do, because they all brag about how they have the ear of the police minister, they have the ear of the politicians. You and me don't, because they don't even read our letters. We've proven that many times over. I've been told by a lawyer that
go on.
Oh, sorry, I know a lawyer for the Queensland government, retired now, and he said they don't even look at your letters. Not at all. They don't even look at them. It's nothing. If they're going to ban something, they've already decided to ban it. They're not going to backflip because someone writes a letter.
Yeah, we've got pro-gun people in New South Wales in Parliament. Doesn't stop any ban. Result is always the same. No power, no results to do anything. What do you do, mate? Been saying this for 10 years. I'm just, frankly, I'm just over having to talk about the same things over and over and over. Just a new gun ban and no one doing anything. Organisations, political, but yeah, they might cry on Facebook and, oh, this is bad, and try and write a letter to somebody, and it doesn't do anything, mate. We've seen that. I mean, if anyone on the comments, while we're watching now, tells me any ban that's been overturned, or hasn't gone through because, of advocacy at a political level. I mean, I'd like to know what it is. They did it with the Adler. They did it with this gun now. They did it with, what's those other guns that were banned? Those wedge tails, they're banned in New South Wales, aren't they? So they're gone too.
They were banned up here, the wedge tails, and then the owners took them to court and won. No help to the organisations. In fact, from what everyone tells me and everyone says, an organisation had a hand in actually getting them banned. So, but I can't confirm that, but that's what everyone tells me. But before this goes, thank you very much, Lachlan, for a $20 super chat. I really appreciate it. And he says, keep up the good stuff, fellas. Loving the Thursday night streams. Thank you. And both Jason and me love it. We talk about it all week. How excited we are to get on here and talk to you guys and converse with the guys who watch our shows and listen to Jason's podcast. Thank you very much, Lockie. So, okay, now I don't even know how to get this off because it's gone up. We've got so many questions here already.
Just probably click on the next guy's question or the first question, or are we just going to talk about our topic discussion today?
We will get there. If we don't talk about the long-range shooting, we'll talk about it next week. Okay, so what I got from a guy who's got the phone call. So we'll get back to what we're just talking about. So he gave me a yell and said, hey, I got a call from his dealer to give back the gun, and he has to return it. It's still in his safe. He only got it, I think, yesterday or the day before. He hasn't fired it yet, so it's unfired, still in the box. So Nye is the importer. Now I'm just going off what he told me. So if I get something wrong, I'm very sorry. So Naya will refund him the money if it's unfired. If it is fired, stiff shit, you don't get money. Naya does not return or give back the money for a used gun. So so he said he would have to go, if he fired it, he'd have to go to fair trading or something along those lines. That's just what he told me. So you won't get your money back if you've shot it. That's too bad because it's I don't know. This is all done through appearance laws as well. So it's now a Schedule 1 or a prohibited firearm. So it's done through appearance laws. There's no compensation. That's the end of it. Jason and me have been talking about this for years. This is how they're going to ban guns, is through this sort of stuff. Reclassification or appearance laws, too bad. So he said he's keeping the gun until he gets an official letter. He was told this by his dealer. So the same dealer, I think it is, his mate went in to go pick his up today and told, no, you can't have it. You can't have the gun because it is now banned in New South Wales. You can't have it. So you're going to have to sort out how you're going to get your money back. So I don't really know the details about that. If you've paid the gun shop, are you going to get your money back? Because you haven't physically taken the gun home yet.
No, I mean, if you haven't taken your gun, I guess you'd probably get a refund. I kind of feel sorry for the gun shops as well, having to be caught in the middle of something like this. But at the end of the day, the end user is out of the pocket $1,680 or $1,695, whatever the costing's roughly thereabouts.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I wouldn't be getting stiffed with the $1,695. I'd be going back to the gun shop. They don't then refund the money. They talk to the dealer. If the dealer doesn't refund the money, then I'd be taking either the gun shop and or the dealer to the tribunal. NCAT in whichever state you're actually in, because I'm not going to get stiffed out of $600 and $1,695. I know it's not their problem, but let them talk to the registry, mate. Not our problem. I mean, we've been given a gun. We got sold a gun we can no longer use. So that's what I'd be doing, mate, and say, well, someone's got to come up with compensation to pay me. Simple as that. I'm not going to get stiffed with $1,695. So I know it's not their problem, but again, it's not my problem either. Go talk to the registry, get registry funding, get the government to pay out, anything, whatever. I'm not getting stiffed with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind not getting up Naya or anything, because at the end of the day, they were the importer and they were told they could supply this gun. So it's not the gun shop fault at all. because they just sell the guns because they're told they're legal, so they can sell the guns. It's not the person like you and me buying the gun's fault because we're told we can buy the gun. It's the government's fault. That's it. And they should be paying. Either if NIA pays the money to the gun owners, here's your money, and they get reimbursed by the government out of good faith. I'm sure they can afford X amount of guns that were sold to the public. Like, I'm sure they can afford that bill. And then they get reimbursed straight away out of good faith. That would go a long way with buying NIA products, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but this is not, I would understand it's not the gun shop nor the importer's fault if this was 3-4 months down the track. I mean, this is 1 to 2 days. This is brand new sort of stuff we're talking about. It's I'm not getting stiff with the money. There's no way I'm going to get stiff. Let the importer go, whoever does the business, go and talk to them and sort out whatever the compensation. But again, it's always the way, isn't it? We're always talking about how we're going to compensate ourselves for another gun ban instead of actually any of these organizations actually standing up and saying, well, we're going to start. At least the NSC seems to be doing that with mixed success. Good on them. At least they're trying, mate. Better than anyone else is doing. That's for sure. Just sad that only one organization that's, got only about 10,000 members has to be the one doing the heavy lifting, and then to be shat on by the other ones saying, well, you're not going to get anywhere anyway, so why bother? I mean, that's not what people want to hear. People want to see the millions of dollars they've got for some of these organizations going into, fighting some of this stuff. But again, that won't happen. They'll just be, oh, yes, thank you. We'll let our members know there's been another gun ban. Thank you very much. That's just ridiculous, man. It's just ban after ban after ban after ban, and it's just getting old and tiresome really quickly.
Exactly. I'm sure when we get more information on it all, I'm sure we will probably make a video on it when more comes to light about all this. But it's just...
Let me say one thing. Someone's got a very good one here. It says, I won't use the name of the company, but I'll just say importers. Why won't the importer stand up and take the system on? And I mean, I guess this case, we know who the importer is. But again, that importer's got government contracts. At the end of the day, are you really going to ruffle the feathers of government contracts for a couple of Ruger PC charges? I mean, that's the reality of it, guys. What's more important, the government contracts or shooters' rights? In this case, I believe it's government contracts. That's just my opinion. Nothing personal against them. They're a great company that supply great products, but that's the reality, guys, that government contracts come first before shooters' rights. If I was doing it, it'd be a different story, but I'm not running the company, so is what it is.
Exactly, I agree. It's not the importer's fault at all. It's not that they bought the gun and they're told they could sell the damn thing, and now the government backflips, say now it's now banned after people have picked it up. It's not the importer's fault. It's not the gun shop's fault. It's not your fault. It's the government's fault, and the government should compensate. Either the importer says, we'll give you money back, and the government will compensate them once they have like an invoice or whatever. Should happen.
You would think they would have had all this nutted out before they actually released this, wouldn't you? Like, the registry saying, well, not just stiffing people again out of their money, but that's what they like to do. That's how they do it. They say, well, if you can't have the gun, this one's totally prohibited, so you won't be able to own it. But they've done it with other guns where they put it to category C and D. I mean, no one's going to buy like an Adler or any of these straight pull shotguns when they can actually physically go out and buy a semi-automatic or a pump action shotgun. So in essence, they've made your gun absolutely worthless overnight. Who would buy a 7-shot Adler on a category D when you can have a 5-shot pump or semi-automatic shotgun? Again, makes no sense.
Well, no, just nuts here. And the one thing does get to me is all the American guys that are staggered by all this. I could talk to a lot of American YouTube channels and people, and they can't believe it. Their gun laws just makes no sense. They can see how it makes no sense from a different country, and I get messages all the time about our gun laws from America, from Europe, from UK, even from New Zealand. And it's just in that all they come to the conclusion is it's a complete shit show over here.
Yeah. And like I say, if you're in an organization, mate, start asking them questions. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why not? Why aren't you acting? What are you doing? Again, I mean, you see all the negative publicity for SSAA on the internet. I mean, again, because they've got a genuine reason, they just keep getting more and more members every year, thinking, "Oh, we're the best, we're the best." Well, you're not really. That's the thing. You're actually quite poor in the way you manage, government discussions, the way you can't get results. That's just the facts. I mean, I just think they should just be a shooting club and let somebody else take over that actually knows what's going on and actually got some drive to actually do something. I mean, you can imagine how the phone call would have gone. "Oh, hello, is this SSAA? Well, yes, it is. Oh, we're banning the Ruger PC Charger. Oh, no worries. We'll just notify our members. Thank you." Boop. That's it. That would have been it. That would have been it.
Yep, exactly. I couldn't agree more. Well, look at even down to the PTA thing. Where I put the post up where people have had putting in PTA, because here in Australia, for our overseas watchers, you've got to get a letter from your pistol club, and then you put a PTA, permit to acquire, to get that gun, that pistol, and the shooters union's not backflipping and not giving their members a letter for a legal gun that you can use in competitions. I've used, as you'll see, I've got the review coming out tomorrow of the PC Charger 9, the 9mm, the one that's banned. I got it coming out tomorrow. And I shot that at a gun club, indoor pistol range, not a problem. They loved it, and they've brought them as well. They can shoot them down the Gold Coast. You can shoot them in a lot of places. So we talked about this today, Jason, that Shooters Union, they're a pistol club, but they have no ranges. So you have to pay them and then go pay another real gun club to go shoot at their range to do your mandatory, because we've got to do mandatory contests, as everyone knows, for pistols. So it's just, and so at these other gun clubs, they accept them. So for their members, they should just be writing that damn letter out, because you can use them at many, many clubs around Australia.
It was disappointing to read that they weren't issuing them. And I don't know why, saying, well, they don't have a discipline, but also in the fact, I mean, they don't have, as far as I'm aware, that they have ranges. I mean, they don't have any ranges, do they, up there in the country? So if they're issuing it, I guess, for, one, I guess, particular firearm, and I'm not sure what the issue is, another one. I mean, that's just my first thoughts that sort of come to my head. If it's legal, I don't know why they're not issuing the permit for it. I mean, it seems, again, we've now got organizations telling us, basically what guns we can and can't own. I mean, we sort of expect that sort of stuff from Gun Control Australia. We expect that from our registries nationwide. We don't expect it that if they just sign that letter, there's going to be no issue because it's a legal gun. So, yep, we support that. Go and shoot that, and you'll be able to get the firearm. So again, if it's legal, you should issue and do the letter. I don't really see what the actual problem is, because if you couldn't get the letter from a range or a club that uses a range somewhere, I mean, you wouldn't be getting any guns in. So, I mean, again, I just very, very disappointing. I just, Shooters Union got to lift their game, to be brutally honest. I mean, I know they've tried, but, they're, at the end of the day, issue the bloody letters. I don't know what the problem is, Hopefully they listen and wake up to members and, they start issuing the letters and do the right thing.
Exactly. And I want to thank Chris Miller. He's a big supporter of Jason's podcast and my show for a $14.99 super chat. It's awesome. Thank you very much, Chris. For Ruger Charger refund, that's more than the government are going to offer you. Sorry, Azza. Yeah, they probably would. Yep, definitely more than that, I dare say. I reckon the government would try and give you a deflated rate as well when they confiscate guns, as they're going to compensate you. That's for sure. They're not going to give you market value.
No, that's all right. Maybe we'll start getting into, we've probably ranted enough about that, but it's just disappointing, guys. We've been talking about it for 10 years, and these days I've just had the bullshit pretty much. I just got to be a bit full on these days and start taking these organizations to task. But I mean, even after the massive amount of negative publicity, do they change? No. Oh, we're the best. We've got more members. Well, you do, because of the NFA. That's the only reason. The same shit that sold out shooters back in 1996, and that's what they're making money on. Wow, you're making money off the back of gun laws. I mean, sad state of affairs, guys. Very sad state of affairs.
Definitely. If I was an organisation like the NSC or anyone else, I would not become a a genuine reason to own a gun, because you are not going to fight. This is my opinion. You're not going to fight the government or that, because you don't want them to change the goalposts and lose your income from the NFA. It's just that simple, and everyone can see that, and they know that. So
you're right. If they had some people like at the top, they're actually willing to spend some of that money and actually start fighting these things. And people say, oh, well, it's wasteful and fruitless. Well, is it really? You know, I mean, right now we're just sitting dummies. They just must think we're absolutely shooters, and organizations are absolutely the biggest clowns, you know, going around, because they go, we banned something. These people don't even do anything. And if they do, it's not in court. It's just the odd tribunal hearing, which is better than nothing, which is still fantastic. But again, you've only got one organization that I've seen doing that. You had one in Queensland doing the wedge tail, which was good as well. They seem to have some good success on that. But will Queensland go after those one day? Again, we'll find out.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next week with this. And I'm putting the prediction out, sweet fuck all is ever going to happen over this. No organisation is going to fight for this. Maybe the NSC, but they've been fighting everything where the other two major organisations have been doing nothing. So eventually the money does run out. I want to say, go join the NSC. I'm not sponsored by them. I have no affiliation with them. No, nothing. But they are doing stuff. At least they're giving it a go. Give it a go. If you fail, at least you gave it a go. Not like the other ones that talk themselves up and then they do a backflip and say, no, it's going to cost too much money. At least they've done something. If they fail, okay, it hasn't worked, but you've tried your best and you did do something as far as I'm concerned. And we've talked about that, and you tend to agree with it, don't you, Jason?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Camo brought up a good one. Can we just recap what's being banned again? That's a good question just there on Facebook. So just off the hand, we've had you might know again the list from WA, but I'm just going off the last couple of years. We've got the Adler, we've got the Riverman OAF. They tried the Wedgetail WT15. Obviously the Ruger PC Charger. Can you think of any offhand?
Ruger SR22 pistol.
Seymour shotgun.
Yep. They tried the Savage A22R. What else?
That was in Western Australia. Shit, man. What are the ones we did? We did a whole live stream about the guns being banned previously. So maybe watch that live stream. We talked about the 8 in one foul swoop that we said would probably happen after COVID. We knew something was going to happen after COVID. Everyone, at least we did anyway. And then, within 3 weeks, WA was trying to ban 8 guns just in one foul swoop. And let's hope, the NSC are trying their best to try and do something about it. No one else is.
I've got them all here. I've got the pictures up. I can't share them because they'll cut the live stream off as we tried in the intro. So we got the AMP DSR1, which is $20,000 German-made long-range target rifle. So I don't know about you, but I ain't got 20 grand to spend on a rifle. So they banned that one. The Seymour M26 shotgun, they tried and failed. The Desert Tech SRA1, some of these are Western Australia. They banned that in Western Australia. We have a Cat C gun, the Franklin Arms F17. That was banned. A Cat C, for God's sake. 1% of Australia, 1% of Australia can get it. So they banned that. Okay, we've got the PC Charger. We got the Precision products made here in Australia, so they're actually trying to knock back Australian companies and Australian manufacturing yet again. So we have that. It's a Seymour, and we have, as I said, the SR22 is another one that they have banned. It's a pistol, a Cat H, and they banned it in Western Australia because it is a shorter pistol, but because people can put a little muzzle brake on it, it becomes legal. They didn't like that. They thought that'll turn you or me into a homicidal maniac.
Yeah, they're not interested in finding criminals. We already know that. I mean,
too much hard work.
Yeah, we've seen that with the gel blasters, and we'll probably talk about that too. How just a little bit before we get into the main stuff, because we've already been 33 minutes in, but Tasmania, they got people to join a club in Tasmania for gel blasters, right? So guess what the police are using to now write to gel blaster owners in Tasmania to surrender their gel blasters. They're using that membership to write to people and threaten to hand in a gel blaster. So I can own an actual firearm in Tasmania. I can own a 50 cal in New South Wales, but I can't own a gel blaster toy, which is ages probably 7 to 13 or 5 to 6 to 13. Absolutely absurd.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on.
I was going to say, you're doing something with that headset too. It's a bit, it seems to be vibrating a little bit. Anyway.
What is, sorry?
It's all right. I was just moving. I'm not sure if you're touching the desk or something. It's just making a bit of vibration.
Well, here's the toy gel blaster, nice and shiny. Obviously, you can see that's a little electric motor, and yeah, it's cheap plastic. That's what it is. Does not look like a real gun to me. I could pick that out in a heartbeat. That was a toy. And trust me, I've been mugged when I was young with a real gun held to my head, and even I could tell there was a real gun, and it looked nothing like this. So, yep, that's what they banned toys in Australia. But that's another topic, and that is something we are going to talk about in an up and coming video. That was actually going to be tonight until this came up. Hey?
Colin Penfold says the NSC is having a good go, but I think it's a tragedy how all the other organisations attack them. Yeah, I mean, I said before, Neil's an interesting guy. He's a bit of a polarising character. He's the main one behind the NSC. But at the end of the day, mate, you got to try. And, I mean, you've got to give him credit for that. They're not always going to do the best thing, but at least they're trying. Again, these other organizations just do sweet FA and take your money. I mean, shooters should be just outraged about what's happening right now. Absolutely outraged. I mean, now we're being threatened. If you haven't seen the write-up from the Tasmanian police to a certain person that was a gel blaster owner in Tasmania, head on to the Australian Hunting Podcast Facebook page and have a look at that letter. And, while it's sad, we think you have to hand these in, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's like, again, nothing being done, guys. Nothing being done by the major organisations. Very sad indeed.
It is. I couldn't agree more. I think we will talk about the gel blaster thing in a future episode. That's for sure. So, as you said, we will get to. Let's answer some questions now. A couple of questions, and we'll get into the actual topic we're meant to talk about. So, Aussie Capitalists, work your magic, Aaron and Jason. Get Trump on the show. Jesus, I would love to. That would be unbelievable.
I'll tell you something funny too. I did send, I've not heard anything back. I don't think it's going to happen, obviously, but I did try. I know Donald Trump Jr., his son, is very big into conservation, very big into hunting and firearms. So I did send him a mail on Instagram if you wanted to, talk about guns and hunting in Australia, and we'd love to have him on, but I haven't heard anything back yet. I don't think he's looked at it. Here we go, Donald Trump Jr. No, he hasn't looked at it. He probably doesn't look at it anyway, and he's probably got it managed anyway, but he probably doesn't look at private messages. But yeah, I'd love to, man. Him or Ted Nugent or Steve Ranella from Meat Eater. There's a couple I'd like to get on, but as they get more celebrity, I guess it's almost impossible sometimes to get these guys on the show.
Well, funny about Ted Nugent, I've talked to his wife a few times and had a couple of little conversations about a few things about she had real bad toxic mold syndrome a few years ago and almost died, and we talked about that because my friends had that, and being in the building game, my business has fixed a lot of mold places, and actually a big toxic mold house we fixed, and we talked about it at length. So she's a very nice lady, and Ted Nugent is just a top bloke. So let's get into it.
If only we had a Ted Nugent over here, like saying what he actually thinks, like when he was on Piers Morgan, when Piers Morgan used to be on CNN. Yeah. You should watch that. You should watch that one if you've seen it.
Definitely. So let's get into tonight's topic because I'm already getting a lot of messages. Show the damn PRC. So I will show that very soon, but at least we've got to ask some questions about tonight's topic. So Jason and me, as you all know, if you've been watching the show, I've been talking about long-range shooting from the aspect of two normal blokes, untrained, and probably, well, I wouldn't say we're fantastic shooters. We get by, and that's basically about it. I'm not going to say I'm a great shooter, and neither will Jason. But, no. Yeah, so tonight's topic is the next one in the series, is choosing a gun. So a lot of things to go into that. Price bracket, quality, what do you get for your money? Do the more expensive guns, are they worth that much? Are they just a gimmick or just a brand name? So, yeah, my views, just a general view of mine, the higher end, I've shot very high end sniper rifles. We're talking $15,000 to $20,000 sniper rifles. Yeah, they are awesome. They are unbelievable. They are out of this world. A different feel. It feels great. It looks great. The everything just clicks into place, and they're great. But would I spend 15 grand? I don't have 15 grand to spend on a sniper rifle.
Yep.
So, and you can hit things if you're really trained. Long distance shooting, as you know, is all about practice, practice, practice. I'm sure you could shoot these high end rifles and shooting a nut off a bloody rabbit at 1,000 meters. But yeah, 15 grand upwards, man, great rifles. Absolutely love them, but I couldn't afford them, and most people couldn't afford them.
No. But then again, also too, you got some really good, barrel manufacturers. You got some good action manufacturers, some great stocks where you wouldn't really have to spend that much money. Getting onto the point of say your low to mid tier guns, your Howers and your Tickers and some Rugers and stuff like that. You can get some great results with some good hand loads. And I think most people, that's all they expect if they're not, competition shooters. But, even if you're going to spend 15K on a full setup, I'd probably go even probably a lot cheaper than that, go a full action, like full custom build if I was going to do that. I just think every day possibly may shoot better. It may not, no one really knows. Again, good hand loads, good powders, good projectiles. Sky's the limit. But, it all depends. A lot of people are just buying off-the-shelf rifle these days, and they're blinging it up with, a stock or a chassis and a good scope and a good set of rings and a 20 MOA rail, and they're getting some bloody good results. I mean, I'm happy with the results I'm getting, and I'm not buying expensive stuff. But when I work out the cost of, say, a 2K scope, 1,800 to 2K gun, in a varmint model, for an example, throw some rings on that, throw some a rail on that, throw a stock or a chassis. I mean, you're almost upwards of that, probably over that $5,000 mark. And that's a lot of money for a lot of people. And that's just an off-the-shelf rifle. So, it's not a cheap sport to get into.
No, exactly. We will have a video coming up soon. Factory versus custom rifles. And yeah, there's a lot of talk about that because the custom rifles are now getting pretty damn close to the price of high-end rifles, or you can build them on a budget to an average $3,000 rifle. So it's a large variety in that. It just depends if you want something a bit different. But I've seen guys shoot $1,000 rifle at long range and just nailing things. So I think you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a really good long range rifle. I think you basically got to decide first up. You got to decide: do you want a tactical looking rifle or a normal hunting rifle and a looking rifle? There's no such thing in my eyes as a long range target rifle and a hunting rifle. They're two totally different things, but that's another video we are going to get into about that. These long-range guns you buy aren't going to be guns you're going to be lugging around. As you'll see in a minute when I bring out the custom one, you are not going to be lugging them around. And a hunting rifle, and you and me both agree, is something you can chuck on your back, walk around all day, and have no problems with. Long-range rifles, you're not.
You can also get, like a good light barrel rifle, do a good load out of it, put a decent, low profile turret scope on that particular gun, I don't know, 4 to 12 or 4 to 16 or something like that. And if you're, it's going to blow out after about 3 or 4 shots due to heat. But if you're taking one shot, I mean, and that gun's shooting good and that load is good, no reason why you can't pull off those hunting shots at long distance, provided you've got the training and the know-how and the capacity to be able to do that. But the gun will do it, no problem. The gun will do it. It's just the other guns, the varmint barrels, will take more loads before they heat up. It's more rounds down range before they heat up. So, it's hard to do the in between. I mean, I've got the Bagara, the B14 now, and man, I've got the heavy scope on it. Shit, man, with a 26-inch barrel, and it's getting pretty heavy. And I've even contemplated as well. I was talking to Aaron last week about this, about scopes, and I've got a couple of 34 mil tubes on those. Now, if it's a dedicated long range rig, it's probably still a good option. But I mean, even these days, even a 30 mil tube with a good 20 MOA rail, but you can still get beyond, depending on caliber, beyond 1,000 meters easy. And most people don't even have anywhere to shoot 1,000 meters mostly. So you're going to be able to do the job. It's just, the lighter barreled rifle will heat up quicker as opposed to the long range sort of varmint style heavy barrel.
Yes, exactly. Like I have, you've seen the video. There's a video out there of me, guys, on my channel. Have a look of me shooting my everyday hunting rifle, which is a Browning Hell's Canyon ringing seal 1,000 meters. 3 shots at a 30-06. My hunting loads hitting steel, not a problem. But boy, it's red hot. So you wouldn't sit there and just plink all day at it. But as Jason said, once you're hunting long-range rifles aren't made to shoot round after round after round. 1 to 2 hits and you've got the animal down. So you don't really have to worry about that too much. But in Australia, most long range, you're just driving up, sit down and wait for something to come at long range. You're not going to spot something at 1,000 meters, are you? Just by driving past aimlessly. Normally you got to set up and sit there and wait. So it doesn't matter how heavy the rifle is.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just you can do it. Again, it depends on what you're going to be doing. That's why you're better off dedicating one rifle to, one particular situation and one to another. And I've done that before. I've had a heavy barreled certain caliber and then a light barreled certain caliber. Sometimes running the same bullet, sometimes not. It just depends because, again, you've got all the gear. You've got all the reloading equipment. You've got the dies. You've got everything ready to go. If, say, a 140 grain out of the 6.5 works well, then, you can probably get a 6.5 in a lighter barrel and that load may still shoot. Be bonus if it shoots, both guns shoot the same load with the same powder. Shit, you're laughing. But, I've never had that case actually work out for me. So,
yeah, I took the new PRC out this week and it was nice. Hardly any recoil whatsoever. But it was pinging and missing a few shots. Bullseye after bullseye after bullseye. Then bang, it was missing. I don't know why, whether the projectiles were damaged or anything, but I'm taking it out this weekend just to double check. I've made some more test loads up. I got a funny feeling it was a little bit dirty after I got it back. That's all I'm putting it down to, because when I cleaned the barrel out after 25 shots, it was thick black soot. Basically, I'm trying the Reloader 25 from Alliant. I don't know if that's meant to be a dirty powder. I don't know, but it was black. It was like I was shooting a black powder gun.
Yeah. Oh, I think we should do the big reveal. While you going?
I'll go grab it. Jason, take over. Answer some questions.
What are we even up to? I don't even know where we're even up to these days.
We haven't started.
Shit, man. Get ready. Let's see this PRC.
A lot of guys saying, let's see the PRC, let's see it, and talking amongst themselves. Aussie Capitalist here says, let's get over 200 views. We've actually already broken. We have one more view. There we go. We have just broken the record. 174 consecutive views last week, all up 3,000. It was awesome.
Don't forget too. You actually had normally when we finish the show, it's like 400, 500, 300, 400. Mate, it was well over 1,000 as soon as it went live. I think it was like 950, and then within about half an hour after finishing the show, it was well over 1,000. So excellent. Yeah. But I reckon we start get this PRC, dude, and I'll leave that Aussie Capitalist one up because I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. How far down is that one? Oh, there it is. So anyway, there's a lot of people on.
So I'll take that off and I will try and flick this over to you and you can talk about it. And I'll go get the gun out of the safe.
All right, no worries. Let's do that.
Oops. Yep. No, sorry, I stuffed up. Okay. Oh, no, it's not that one either. Jeez, it's not worth. They've changed. I've actually got hold of. They send out a whole lot of you had to upload this program again, and they've changed everything. That's why nothing worked this morning. Before we started, they've done all these updates, and nothing seems to be working. Geez.
Well, if not, you have to head out and grab it, I think.
Yeah. Yep, here you go. How's it? There you go.
All right, guys. So Aaron's just jumping off to go get that PRC. So I'm just scrolling down a couple of questions before he comes back. Okay, a lot of good comments. Evening, Dirty Fox, Happy Hunter, Aussie Capitalists, our regulars as well. And guess what? That thing just disappeared again. The StreamYard application. Anyway, so what do we got here? So this is Pranic Megan. I actually don't mind the required shoots after all. I bought it for shooting. It's all the storage and transport requirements and cop harassment. Yeah, listen, I think people don't want to shoot for a year or something, or they've got, busy at work. I don't think mandatory shoots really help anyone. Again, all that helps. Guess what? Again, organizations making money off mandatory attendances, which we know they're never going to get rid of them because, again, that's how they make a lot of money, sending you that letter out saying, don't forget to do your mandatory attendances. Anyway, NSC Capitalist, Aussie Capitalist, the NSC stopped the Seymour shotgun ban in Victoria. Yeah, if that's true, that's fantastic. I haven't spoke to Neil for a week. I did get an email off him yesterday about the WA stuff, so maybe we can share more of that on this week. Decker Hex, one of our regulars as well. Did the M26 shotgun ban go through with VicPol? Mate, I think the jury's still out on that one yet, but we will keep you updated. Super chat again from Lockie McFarlane. So he says, I'm currently loading for the 6.5 Creedmoor. I've noticed that 2 different cases hold 2 different amounts of powder. Just wondering if it's still safe to load both cases with the same amount of powder. Yeah, I don't see it be a problem, mate. If, the powder says, if the gun's running on, what would 6.5 Creedmoor be, 2209, say 40 to 43.5 grains, thereabouts. Mate, if it's working in one, it should work in the other. But again, different brass, you may get a different point of impact. I'm not sure. Maybe that's something we'll talk about in the future and get your guys' results on whether, obviously different powder will make a difference, but does different brass make a difference? Does different primers make a difference? Does match primers make a difference? I think, that'd be a very good discussion and get your guys' opinions, what you're seeing out there and you're reloading. But anyway, the goober's back right now, so he can take over and show you I actually thought it wasn't the 6.5 PRC because they got the 6.5, isn't it, GT, the Gay Tiger? Isn't it something like that?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, once again, from New South Wales, you're from New South Wales, so your opinion does not matter because you ban everything. So here we go, guys. This weighs a ton. It's got a 30-odd inch barrel, so I'm going to have to pretty much. I can't even extend that far from my microphone. So this is it here. And this thing is a beat. It weighs an absolute ton. So here's the camo look. Oh, look at that muzzle brake, made in New Zealand. The New Zealand muzzle brake. And that's the name of the company. The dude is absolutely awesome, very nice bloke. He came here to Australia and dropped probably half a dozen muzzle brakes off to me to have. So, yeah, very nice gun. So what it is, okay, we'll start here. The stock is a Southern Cross small arms stock made here in Sydney. The coating on it that everyone would want to know or been asking me is a reptile coating from Chris Pritchard, who you just interviewed, from Protective Ceramic Coatings. And I'll tell you now, the camouflage or the paint job on this is unbelievable. I'm running a Vortex Razor that I had lying around. Very nice scope. The barrel, this thing is unreal. A fluted, I think it's 30-inch or 32-inch Allen Swan barrel made here in Brisbane, regarded some of the best barrels known to man. So, and that's, I think it's a 1-inch thick barrel. It just weighs, this thing just weighs a ton.
Hey, let me just say one thing. I'm looking at the comments here because I'm reading a couple of the bottom ones because we've got so many coming in. Clayton Smith says, very nice gun. I'd trade my wife for it.
What's your wife like? I might swap her. That's she cook and clean.
Let me just say, Karen Jane said, nice work. Love the coding. Brett Morris had a bit of a laugh. Says, harden up, Aaron. That's a featherweight compared to my target rifle.
But his target rifle's a 50 cal.
Yeah, someone's talking about some reloading manuals, but yeah, there's a few comments coming in. Colin Penfold, it's a very nice rifle. What does the fluting do? Yeah, that's a good question. What does the fluting do? Does it aid in cooling, or is it more just a gimmick?
Looks fucking awesome. That's it.
I never used to mind it on the one of the super lights. I had one of the Tikkas, but I don't know. I'm old school. I just like a standard barrel, like fluted. It's not bad, but what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Are you a fluted fan or are you not a fluted fan?
Yeah, I got it because I just wanted something different. I think a barrel this thick would have looked a bit boring, just being straight in my eyes. So I just wanted something a bit different. And the action here is sorry, I'll carry on about talking about it. The action is an ultimatum made in Canada. It's their U300, I think it's called. So you can't buy this action anymore, but I got it on special, like $500, so cheap. So I got the action as the ultimatum. So REM 700 footprint. It's an AI magazine with Ignition Engineering down in South Australia. They sell these mag extensions. I think it's like a 2 or 3 mag extension. So you can have 15 rounds in Queensland in the bolt action. So it comes to like a 13 round. I put a Timley trigger in it. It's a Timley Elite, and so it goes down to 8 ounces, I think it does, and that's what I have my 300 rum. It is a hair trigger, so I'm very happy with that. I love this trigger, 2-stage trigger. I've always liked a 2-stage trigger. You have a little bit of creep, and you can just hold it on, and then it just breaks nicely. I don't have the bolt in there right now, so I can't show you. So I've got a flute bolt and everything. Yeah, this is getting.
Nick Lass says fluting aids in cooling, but then Camo says does nothing but look good. So I guess not sure. Rob Dog Parker says, "Men, what did it cost you?"
Okay, so the Southern Cross firearms, I think are just a tad. Don't hold me to these prices yet. A tad under $600, I think. The Ultimatum Action, okay, that was on special. That was like $500 or $600, and that was. But now you got the new model. That's basically the same. It's $1,500 to buy the action. Okay, the scope, which is to me is irrelevant for the actual gun because it's not what I paid for on the gun. The scope's about $2,800 for the Razor Gen 1. The barrel, I think they go for around fluted like this, threaded with a muzzle brake for about $1,300, I think. The muzzle brake alone is about $400 from New Zealand, and they are regarded some of the best muzzle brakes that you can actually buy. What else is there? Timley trigger, I think they're about $400, $300 to $400 now. The coating, it cost me about $1,200 for the camouflage, but I just wanted something different. The older you get, you just want something different and something nice and something like a one-off, and this is definitely a one-off. That's for sure.
Let me say one thing. Karen's a very important question. Karen said, sorry, what was the details of the person who coded the gun again? Outstanding. Must have it done. So who was it again?
Chris Pritchard, and he owns Protective Ceramic Coatings here in Brisbane and Caboolture. You can find him on all the Googles and internet searches. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description here after the show. His work is top notch. Absolutely top notch. I try to keep as much Australian stuff, Australian barrel, Australian made barrel, and Australian made chassis. Of course, Chris is Australian. He lives in Brisbane, does the coatings. To me, he's one of the best guys who coat the rifles for the ceramic coatings. It's one of the best out there. The work is unbelievable. Really, up close. Probably doesn't do it justice on screen, but up close, this thing's just amazing. You can see the snake skin pattern in it and everything. And you can actually.
One sec. Dustin Holmes says fluting aids in barrel rigidity as well. Watch Tibosaurus Rex on it. So, I mean, he's pretty popular, pretty decent guy on YouTube there. So, surprised how taking material away makes it more rigid. I mean, hey, if that's true, then great, yeah.
Yeah, I'm no engineer, but round cylinder is one of the strongest shapes you can actually get. So, yeah, I'm not too sure about the rigidity, but hey, I'm just a construction worker. What do I know?
And yeah, it seems a lot of people are saying someone said put a spur mount on it. Spur mount is a spur, but I think it's already got a rail on top, hasn't it? That action.
Yeah, the action comes with the rail on it. It came with, I don't know if you can see it here. It came with a little hook thing that you meant to put a wire onto here to the front of the barrel. And you run a wire across it, and it stops any mirage. But I just got to machine it off because it looked ugly. I would never use that anyway. So yeah, these mounts are vortex mounts. These are solid mounts. I like these, and of course they fit the vortex scope very nicely. I don't know if this is going to be the scope I'm going to finally end up with on it at all, but I can tell you now.
I think they're the Pro Series rings. They're the ones that have got holes in the bottom of them, like they can sort of see through it. Because I know the low and the medium version of the rings. They've got sort of holes in the back now, so you've got they do look like the Pro Series rings. They're pretty good. I got a pair, but when you go into the high rings, they've actually got a cutout in the middle machined in them, which I don't really like. So I stick to the low and mediums in those 30s.
Yeah, I always try and get the center of the scope as close as I can to the barrel, and this was the best match for this gun to get as close to the barrel as you can. But overall, I am really, really impressed. Yes, and there will be videos out there. I absolutely love this thing. I really do. It's it feels nice, looks nice. And once I dial this thing in with load development over the next few weeks, it's going to be awesome. And I just can't wait to knock things over with it, basically.
Mike says, fluting reduces weight while maintaining rigidity. Just a couple of guys talking about how good T-Bosaurus Rex is at his content. Yeah, he gets full on, mate. He doesn't just do the shooting now, doesn't he? He's pretty talking about government and other specific issues that are affecting the country. So, yeah.
Oh, he's a top bloke. He's answered a few questions of mine when I've talked to him, and very nice guy. Yeah, seems really down to earth as well. Really down to earth.
Anyway, I've lost questions down to 7:14 p.m. So I think I've got down to 7:14. So maybe flick through. There's probably a lot of talking and discussion. But mate, we're an hour in already. We've only sort of just started.
Yeah. So is there any more questions you can see on there about the gun? Because I'll go chuck it away and we'll carry on.
Yeah, I'm just having a look now. It says just about the fluting. Just having a look down, reduces weight. Nah, man, nothing really. Yeah, just about streaming. Yeah, that's about it, really, man. Nah.
Oh, cool. All righty, well, I'll go chuck this in the safe. You take over, and we'll get into the questions.
Yeah, mate, no worries. Let's do that.
If I can figure out how to do this again.
I told you they should have left me in charge. You guys know I should be in charge of this. You guys know that.
No, they've changed this. So keep asking the questions.
Download the friggin' software or get it updated, you idiot.
No, I did. Here we go. There you
Must
go.
have some bugs. All right, let's get into it. All right, who we got? Nick. Okay, Steve Worthy, top show. Keep up the work, boys. Nick Lass, question about gun safes for Cat A and B. Does the safe have to have a 3mm door and a 2mm body in New South Wales? Yeah, that's a good question, man. I don't know offhand. I thought it was a 4mm door, but I could be wrong. But again, if you just jump on the registry website, they give you the specs as part of one of their PDF files you can easily download. I thought it was a 4mm door, but I could be wrong. Yeah, and I know the door's thick, supposed to be thicker, I think. Again, don't quote me on that. I don't know every single law. But again, look there, you'll find it there, no problem. Aussie Capitalist had a good one. The Aussie Capitalist at 7:17. See the cop in New South Wales give his handgun to his mate to go hunting with. Imagine the outcome if one of us did that. Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it might have been federal, might have been Canberra. It was around federal police, I think. He's obviously in trouble. People, got a bit upset when I posted this, saying, well, you should be allowed to do it. Like, I totally agree. I think you should be able to do that. But at the end of the day, if they're not going to allow us to be able to shoot handguns on private property, then sorry, you don't get the same privilege. Just because you're a police officer, you hand your gun in after your shift, and you you go home like everyone the rest of us. If you happen to get attacked on the way home, well, welcome to civilian life, buddy. That's real life. So, if they can carry guns for protection outside of the workplace, then we should be able to too. If they don't want to let us do it, then no, sorry. They're not going to be doing it either.
Yeah, I just pick up the end of that, and I agree totally. Yep. We're all together. All our lives matters. Doesn't matter what you are or what you do for a job. Once you take that uniform off and you leave, you clock out, you're just one of us. You should have the same rights as us as well.
Not sure if you want to ask the next one. I mean, if you have a read of the next one. Might be a bit too. I'm not sure if it's controversial enough, or it's just right under that one you've got selected.
Oh, I like controversial.
Because I don't know if you want to read that one. I'm not sure yet. Sorry, guys, you probably don't know what it is, but it's a good question. It is a good question. But we're not saying this, so maybe Aaron will put it up. It's up to him, I guess.
Yeah, stuff. I'll put it up. We're not saying it. It's not us.
Yeah. Cassandra says, question about Naya. Now they have the government contract. Well, they've always had government contracts, but do you think they may have some sort of power, or will it be shut your mouth and we'll give you the contract?
I got no idea.
I don't know.
Well, you've interviewed Robert Naya, and you got a gist of what he's like. I don't think he's that sort of person. Personally, I don't think he would. Yeah, I don't think he would be like that. I really don't.
I spoke to him. I don't know him on a personal level. I just spoke to him on the show. Seemed like a decent, nice fella. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you do, man? If the government contracts and who knows what they're telling people behind closed doors? Shut your mouth on this and we'll give you that. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's happening behind closed doors? No one knows any of that sort of stuff. So, it's it's like same thing when me and Aaron talk about the organisations taking the NFA money. Why would they bite the hand that feeds them? I mean, I don't know if the same goes here, but we have seen similar in other parts of the shooting fraternity where we're giving you range funding. You got your NFA, you've got your constant money flow coming in. They wouldn't survive without that money flow because they haven't done anything in 20 years to make people want to join or make people want to join. It's just they have to join. So they don't care whether you're satisfied with their products or not because you have to join a club. So they don't care. If you leave, they'll get 10 people to replace you.
Yeah, that's true. I hope that's not the case, but I'm not going to speculate on that sort of stuff. I don't know if it's the case, but it'd be sad if it is. But you just never know. You really just don't know in this industry. I tell you what, I've learned a lot by starting this YouTube channel a few years ago about people and people who people think are very nice people in the industry, and they aren't very nice people. And the dirt I've got on people this is unbelievable, but you just can't say it. But yeah, it's really opened my eyes, dude. The firearm industry. I thought the building trade was shocking for backstabbing and scumbags. But apart from a handful of people that you and me talk to, man, a lot of people aren't very nice people in this industry, in the YouTube industry and in the firearms industry. It's a lot of backstabbing and snarkiness that goes on, isn't there?
Yeah, man. More questions. Let's go more. We've got a heap there. We're probably not even going to get even close to 8:06. We can probably spend a little bit longer tonight, actually, because I'm going away. So we're not gaming tonight, guys. So on the Xbox. So we can probably stick around a little longer and try and get through some of these questions.
It's not like you need your beauty sleep.
I've got to get up early.
Okay, we'll just go to the next one. Nick, Panic Megan. Nicholas just asked your local gun shop what to do. I can't remember or I would tell you offhand.
Let's just go to some other questions anyway, guys.
I think I stuffed that one up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of in talking here.
Yeah. See, funky monkeys liking what I'm saying. I'm just on the stream now. Here, Jason. Yep. Mate, when you've been doing this for 10 years, mate, I tell you what, like it just, people when you see this year after year after year and you first get into this and you're kind of green and, you're hopeful and you're full of him and vigor and you're ready to go and you're pumped, ready to go, man. But after 10 years, I've just fucking had it. I've had it with these people. I've had it with these organizations. I've just had it, and people that are getting into it, excuse me, you'll feel the same thing as well after a while. And, when you're doing podcasts, fortnightly for 10 years, and you see no changes at all. You just see constant bans. It starts to weigh on you. It really does. And you start to go, well, what hope do we have? And don't want to sound pessimistic, but I've been waiting for 10 years and I just don't see anything on the horizon at all, that anything that's going to change anytime in the near future. There will be further gun bans. There will be further restrictions coming forward on the guns that you love and I love. And there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it because we don't have the money. What are we going to do? We can write to our politicians. I've been writing since suppressors in 2011. They're still laughing at us in 2020 about suppressors. So, what do you do, mate? What do? You just got to keep pushing your organizations, push. Don't take no for an answer. Ask them questions. Say, why aren't you doing this? Why? And then if they're not doing what you want them to do, cancel your membership. Go elsewhere.
Yep, I agree totally. I get more benefit out of a small independent club like what I belong to. I've got about 5 or 6 little independent clubs around me. Mate, they cost bugger all to join. They're not going to take your money and lie to your face and backflip. And I don't know. As my mate who works for me said the other day, if the name's got a union in it, they're fucked, no matter what it is. And I tend to agree because I've been in big commercial construction for half my life. And as soon as you mention the word union, it doesn't never leads to a good thing whatsoever.
Let me follow up with a question here from I have, but Peter sat out, said, either of you blokes have any interest in Milsurp rifles? I don't have any, man, not my cup of tea. I'm not sure. I think Aaron's might have had a few, possibly. He's got some, but I haven't had any experience in it, man. Wouldn't be something I'd buy. It's just not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of people love it. There are a lot of guys out there love collecting the old Milsurp stuff, that's for sure.
I love the history. I love history. I love old stuff and history. I reconditioned an old. I'll do a review on it and bring it. I've had it for years now. A Lithgow 303. Okay, I know it's pretty common here in Australia, but I redid it all, did it all up, and it's a lovely rifle. Okay, it does punish you a little bit when you shoot it, but I love it. And it was good. It was a lot of fun. And I do like history and knowing about old firearms. Something that really does interest me. I'm not an authority about it. I don't know much about them at all.
Let me say one thing here. It's funny. Someone goes, M. Gabriel says, take up slingshot. We should take up slingshot, basically. And then Body Dynamite says, no, sorry, they're banned too, mate. And then Choco Boy AU says, slingshots are illegal here too. M. Gabriel, are you kidding me? Yeah, serious.
Where is it? Where's he from?
He's right, man. Slingshot. Mate, when you think about it, remember they banned our fireworks back in, what was it? Maybe late 90s, early 2000s. We can't even have Cracker Night anymore. I mean, you pretty much can't do anything in this country. Like, that's how sad. Like I keep saying, if you got any sisters, they got. I want to wife up an American girl and move over there and leave all this behind, mate. So if you know anyone, email me. If she's cute, email me.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same field. I got to live in Texas. I'll sell my house.
Let me say, I think it's Tao or Teo. Teo Lai says, what about cap guns? And I said, nah, next best thing, ban, mate, gel blasters.
Yeah, well, cap guns. You had that guy in that who contacted you about the cap gun. He's lost everything from it, hasn't he?
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago.
I can go to my local country markets here, and they sell 1911 replicas. I mean, they look solid. They're solid metal, and they look pretty damn real, and they take caps at the local country markets.
Yeah, I'm sure if I had that in New South Wales, they'd be saying I've got some sort of firearm and try and take my gun license off you. So just got to always do what you can to make sure, some overzealous cop doesn't take away your gun license.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to thank OG Force, Zero G Force, for a $2 donation. Thank you very much. Can the government focus on real crime? Let us be. That's just all we ask for. That is it. That's all we ask for. Leave us alone and go find the criminals. Do your goddamn fucking job, police, and go find the criminals. Stop targeting legal gun owners who just want to be left alone and enjoy their sport. It's not hard. Just do your fucking job. I'm sorry, but that's what really pisses me off. And as you said in your post this week, Jason, no police are friends of gun owners. And I agree with that. They'll always turn on you.
Yeah,
As
I've
far as
heard
I'm concerned.
people like I've got so many stories, that I can't, like as Aaron said, there's so many things you hear and I get emails about, and you can't even say some of this stuff live, man. You just look at it and go, holy crap, man! If this is what they're saying, sometimes they're providing evidence, and you just can't put that out there. But behind the scenes, and I hate to say behind the scenes because that's a phrase of another organization, but on the emails and Facebook and messengers and stuff, the stuff you see, man, like, I thought it was good there for a while going, let's be a big fan of, defending the police. But then when you see them screw the people that I've seen them screw for no reason, when you see them screw, Armored Heaven, Brad Towner's business cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars over toys when he'd been in business for 12, 13 years for absolutely no reason other than to get a charge onto the guy. It's just, you lose all faith in them, guys. You lose all faith. We're seeing we're seeing them in Victoria. Victorian people have just had a gut full of the lockdowns in Victoria. They've had it, Victorian police, lacking major lack of community respect for Victorian police at the moment, and they've brought it on themselves. But I want to say one thing here down the bottom of the live stream. George Costandia, hang in there, fellas. Some of us are total noobs and need you old heads to lead the way. I'm not that old yet, man, but I'm only 39. Aaron's a bit older than me.
I got grey hair.
Yeah, mine's slowly starting to come in, man. Some greys now. Not bad for 40. I'm just glad I've still got a full head of hair at almost 40. I got mates that were bald as badgers at 25, so count myself lucky.
Well, we've got another super chat from Explosive Bagara, our good old mate. I was wondering where you were tonight, Explosive. What scope would you put on Ticker T3X and 223 heavy barrel? I'd like to shoot anywhere from 100 to 500. Budget 1,000. I've been looking for weeks and can't make up my friggin' mind. Well, Jason, you got a Bagara. What have you got on yours?
I've got a couple of different scopes there. I've got about a $2,500 or $2,600 scope now. It's the Delta Striker HD. But if he says under $1,000, I mean, maybe some of the Bushnells out there. I mean, you're sort of out of the range of the VX5 HDs. You're out of the range of they're bringing out the new, which we probably talk about too, some of the new Zeiss V4. Now, I got a screaming deal for the 7mm Magnum on that 4-16x44 Zeiss V4, but I know the new ones that are coming out have got the exposed windage and the exposed elevation. So they look, we got the PDF document the other day, the brochure, man, they look shit hot, but we already sort of roughly know the price, and they're definitely going to be way over that $1,000 mark. I don't know, man. Good question. Maybe some of the Leopold VX3s, maybe. I'm not even sure what they even sell in the Zeiss. Maybe you can have some input there, Aaron. What do you think?
Zeiss, man, to go that's a distance. It's a hard one. A lot of people want high magnification, but you look at a lot of long-range snipers, actual military snipers. They used to only use fixed 10 powers, and they're shooting out to 800 meters with that. So you don't need 25 times for long range. And long range adds up to about 1,000 meters. Because, like, I don't use 25 times. I'm normally shooting on about 15 times when I'm shooting long range, and I'll zoom in just to double check where the hits are on the gong. So from that price range under 1,000, as you said, the Bushnells, the Zero Techs are great. The Zero Tech is a great scope for under $1,000. I've had one on my 308, and I was plinking at 1,000 meters. Not a problem on my Ruger precision rifle, and I could see the grass extremely clear at 1,000 meters. And that's what I look for. I always look at the grass and how clear I can see things at that distance. Is how I tell a good scope, and the Zerotech was good for that. Even the Nico Sterlings. My mate brought a Nico Sterling. I told him, have a look at this Nico Sterling. And he brought a Nico Sterling up to 30 times. Jesus, I tell you what, for $800, not bad. 30 times. I think it's
Yeah.
5 to 30 or something.
All depends on. I think it all depends, man, on what you're going to use it for. If you're just plinking, maybe if you're going to do that, maybe what you're best off doing is getting a 3 to 15 or something around that, 4 to 14, something around that range. Maybe even a little bit less, maybe even a standard 3 to 9. If you get one with half hash mil dot reticle, you'll be able to use the holdover on that reticle, so you won't have to use the turret. It's pretty similar to what I'm doing with the 22 LR I've got. I've just got a cheap Hawk scope with 5 mil dots. So I use the Strelok app, which is the ballistics app. I'm shooting rabbit-sized gongs out to about 155, 160 meters. Anything beyond that, not really much I can do because I've run out of 5 mil dots on the reticle. Obviously, I can't really dial the scope. I wouldn't want to basically zero it. You don't want to be dialing it. It's not going. I don't think it's going to be accurate, but it does the job out to 150. So if you had I don't know what caliber, would you say 223? Man, 5 mil dots. I reckon you'd probably get out to 500. And James said on here too, you got Dave Hubner said Zero Tech. You got James said the Miopta Optica 6, 2.5 to 15 for $915. I know definitely the Miopta have got good glass as well. There's immense. The sky's the limit, man.
Yeah, well, my 23, I got a Zeiss V4 like you have, up to 16 times, and that works absolutely wonderful at that sort of distance for 223. But once again, it is over $1,000 mark. Why not look at secondhand scopes? You get a lot of secondhand scopes for half the price, and you can probably get something really good for half the price. Look into that market. Nothing wrong with the scopes.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, the same thing. If you really want to do that, I think that's a great option. I think if you don't want to get into the expense of dialing, just get a good mil dot reticle. The only thing is, don't forget that it will be collaborated, second focal plane most likely, so it would be collaborated at full power. So if you're going to go to 14 and you're shooting, you're going to have to go to 14 power on that second focal plane scope for that to be accurate. You know what I mean? So you definitely need to make sure that you've got to be at full max power. Otherwise, the reticle is not going to line up with your ballistics on your Strelok app. So just something to think about. So like I said, I've got the 3 to 9 by 40. I zoom into 9 power. Mate, I'm bashing a rabbit size gong at 160, 155, 160, and then I'm maxed out. But I mean, 2 to 3, you'll be able to get out there. So there's plenty to do, man, and you don't really have to worry about the rest of it. You just get your app, you go range, app, up, 3.5 mil dots, just hold in between it, your 3.5 hash, bang, you should hit, and then do your trajectory validation and see if it works.
Yep, exactly. And once again, we talk about this all the time. Jason, me, I think the biggest conversations we have are on scopes. We banter each other about it, and we talk about it, and we agree a lot on stuff, and we don't agree on stuff with it. But once again, just buy something in your budget, and if you've got $1,000, maybe look at the second-hand market. You might be able to get a $1,500 to $2,000 scope for $1,000. Like I've done that before. I've gotten a $3,500 scope for $1,400 second-hand.
Yeah, and someone said, he was asking me a question here too. He said, what do you think of the Deltas that I've got about the Delta? That's Steve Muller. Steve Muller, tell me about the Delta Striker, please. There's 2 different types. There's the Striker HD, which is the one I've got, 4.5 to 30 by 56, the 34 mil tube. And then you have the Delta Striker. I'm just lost, sorry, guys, right now for the name. I'll try and remember it. 2.5 to 15 for 1,100. Yeah, they're pretty good too. They got good glass, man. I mean, there's a lot of manufacturers out there that are coming out with really good glass for 40% cheaper than the equivalent. Yeah, there might be 1% in it if you're lucky. I mean, people say not, but again, sometimes you're paying for marketing as well, which most of us know is some of these, very well-known, very prestigious manufacturers. That's just the reality of it. But, and some people are trying to get into the market and having a cheaper price, and they're, maybe their overheads are lower, maybe they're importing through a certain way, they're not putting it through an importer, direct to sale, like Maven. I've got Maven binoculars in America. There's a guy that brings them out here down in Wagga Wagga, just about 4 or 5 hours south of Sydney. But in the US, they're straight. They don't have an importer. They deal straight with the person. You ring that company, you buy them. So they're cutting out the middleman and giving you a really good product for the price. So Yeah, man, I can't remember that one, what it's called again. If you can let me know in the comments. But yeah, I've had no issues with mine, and people might have seen I talking to Aaron just a couple of days ago about having the 34 mil tubes, and like I said, I put a couple up on one of the sites to sell just because I just want to go back to a 34 mil. I think it's smaller. I don't know. It's just me. I think 34 stick to your target rifles, and if they're a bit of a mixture, hunting and target. I mean, I just like the 30 mils. You're going to be able to get easily out to, a good distance with a 30 mil tube with a 20 MOA rail. I don't know. That's my thinking. I'm just, I got to, and if I don't sell them, I don't sell them. It's not a big deal to me. They're fantastic scopes, and I'm more than happy to keep them. So I'm not going to get rid of them for nothing or for cheap. I'll keep them. But yeah, man, the Deltas are pretty good.
Yeah, you've always told me how good they are. And that, yeah, from what you're saying, they've never missed a beat for you as well. So we do have another super chat here. I can't bring it up, but it is here from Hardcore Unit, $10. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work, lads. Thank you very much. Okay, so C. Henderson, looking at buying an Anschutz 1771. Either of you guys had anything to do with them? Well, me, I've only had dealings with the 22 Anschutz. I never shot a rimfire before. Sorry, a centerfire Anschutz, but I do know they're very good, and they are very expensive now. The old Anschutz centerfires, but yep, I don't think you're going to go wrong with a Anschutz personally.
Yeah. And a good question. Let me say one thing here as well. I want to mention this one, which is, the Anschutz, they're obviously great quality. Colin Penfold said, how do you choose reasonably priced rings? Very good question, I reckon. I've got the Night Force rings, the ultralights, but they're $300. Like I said, have a look at the Vortex Pro Series rings. I think they're about $100, maybe 110. They look nice. They're not really full tack style ones. They got the two nuts on the side, like not nut. They got the two screws on the side, but they're the big screws, so they're not going to shred. You can easily do them up to 30-inch pounds. They look nice. They've even got written on them like 18-inch pound. They tell you, and they actually look pretty good. So look at those guys. I mean, then again, you know what? I hate to say it. I've got a mate who's actually got some pretty expensive gear. And, mate, he buys eBay rings. I hate to say it. He buys eBay rings from China, and he goes, there's no way I'd spend money on that. So, and I've never seen any of his rings fail. So take your pick, guys. Take your pick. If you got the dollars and you want to spend. If you don't, there's the lower end too. And, he would tell me, I'd know if he had problems with them. And those 15, I think some of the rings he's even bought are about $7 or $8. And he reckons they work. And he goes, but I wouldn't be putting those on my expensive scopes, again, because if they're not machined properly, they could crush your scope. They could do anything. So, again, maybe it's cheaper scope, no problem. More expensive scope, probably wouldn't, but he does. And he says he never has a problem. Go figure.
Yeah, well, you talk about crushing the scopes and that. My mate laps all his rings. No matter what he buys, he laps them all. And it's amazing how much actually comes off it with high-end rings as well. Like, they're not exactly aligned. So, yeah, I'm a bit out to pasture on the old ring thing. Some of these rings are worth $300-$400. Sorry, I just don't see the value in it. I really don't. On my hunting rifles, I'm using the Nico Sterling quick release rings, and I've never had a problem. They're full steel, and they work, and they do the job, and they only cost like $50.
Yeah.
So,
Someone said MDT has some good, reasonably priced rings as well from Nick Lass. Yep, which 100%. And then just getting this one, because I thought this one just before it disappears, from Mardo 3787. I know a guy that I know, Brad from down south here in New South Wales. We sort of met on YouTube and speak a fair bit, and he bought a Tracked Optics. I think it's a Tracked. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but Tracked Optics is a new one. Cut out the direct to middleman. So that's another option too. He said he's pretty happy with it. He only got it a week ago, but he's been shooting the 140s out of his, I think it's 6.5 Creedmoor in a Bagara, I think it's Bagara Ridge, and he's pretty happy with it. So I think they're about 1,200-1,300, and he's pretty stoked with it. So yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Now we've got a JL Joinery. He loves his Zeiss scopes. They are awesome, guys, for hunting. I don't think you go much past. If you want to go to the next level, I think Zeiss are it. Personally, I think for hunting scopes, they definitely give Loophole a run for their money. That's my opinion.
Steve Muller said it's the track Toric. Yeah, mate, it could be. Yeah, absolutely. And a couple here, just quick ones, and I'll answer these ones quickly. But Chris DeLaba said, does Nikon still do a good scope? Well, they did until they sold out to the DSLR and camera crowd and decided not to make scopes anymore. Anyway, Chris Miller also said the Leopold PRW2 ring is $100. Now, I don't know what I ever did with mine. I just started selling them and giving them away. You know, when you put the top ring down onto the scope, the way they're, which way would it be? The way they're put on there, it's sort of on an angle. And I don't know, man, I've always struggled to get those PRW2 rings on. I've never been able to do it. So I like a bottom ring that's got a flat surface. So you drop the ring on top and, pretty much straight from the top, once it goes over, straight from the top. The ones that drop down, like the PRW2s, and they've got that angle, I don't know, man. I've had a bunch of them, and I can never, ever get them to seat properly. They're wider on one side than the other. I don't know, never had any success. Maybe I'm just an idiot, and I can't figure it out, probably, and I've tried, but can't do it. So, I've had to sell a lot of those PRW2 rings or give them away and just to mates, or they want them cheap, but give them away because it just never worked for me.
I've never used them.
He said, Chris said soft hands. Yeah, mate. These are soft hands. Don't worry.
Office worker hands.
Office
tradesman, real man hands. So where are you up to with these questions? I'm finding lots of questions we haven't looked at yet.
Man, I've just been reading from the bottom of the chat, dude. So whatever you're up to, and whatever you're up to.
I'm trying to find where you are, and I've lost lots. Okay. Panic. Megan, cheap sniper scope. I don't know what a sniper scope is. And the second focal plane does me better than my mate's Bushnell. I tried and didn't like. So how cheap do you want to go? That's the thing. You got to work in your budget. A sniper scope, there's no such thing. There's just a scope. Once again, Nico Sterling. If you want a cheap scope, Nico Sterling, Zero Tech, the Bushnells aren't that expensive. And I've actually got a Bushnell Engage. And I think that's really good, to be quite honest, on one of my 22s, on my Let's Go 22, a Bushnell Engage. And the only problem it has with that is it doesn't have a zero stop. If it had a zero stop, man, I think that'd be a fantastic gun. Fantastic scope. Yeah. So it all depends down.
I want to say, sorry, I just go finish that one because I got a good one here just popped up as well. And I wanted to ask him about it.
I'm done. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Harps 666. Now, he said he got a Vortex. We'll talk about this last week, and obviously we said we didn't recommend it just for warranty issues and stuff, but he said he got a Vortex Razor Gen 2 from Optics Planet, which is literally someone was talking about this to me about 5 days ago, from the USA to his door for $2,900. Now, I know they're well over or a bit over $4,000 now here in Australia. So, Harps, if you can put in the question, in the comments there, mate, did you have to pay GST on that? Because I know I think it was about a $60 fee or $65 for shipping over to Australia. So, did you have to pay for GST on that $2,900 scope? I'd love to hear from you as well.
I think you got to pay anything over $1,000 GST now from overseas.
Yeah, and same thing from the Sydney Militia. I've had one of these too, the Optisan EVX 6 to 24 by 50 f1 at their German scopes. I sold mine literally a couple of weeks ago to a mate for the 22, so for the other 22, the CZ457. So I'm just looking at those too. And then someone else said the SWFA, which are very popular scopes over in the US. I think it started from, was it Nico Sterling, I think, and some of the fixed power was $450 delivered. So from the States. And yeah, I've heard good things about the SWFA scopes as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the Harps said, M. Gabriel, they had deals and that was a $2,900 AUD. But yeah, mate, did you pay GST? Just let us know in the comments.
Yep. Okay, and here's K. Lucas. Got a SIG BDX with a kilo 1800 rangefinder on my 6.5 Creedmoor. Can't wait to test it out this weekend. Man, I tell you what, I've got a Lithgow review I've just filmed coming up, and it had the BDX on it, and you'll see a couple of the older reviews I've done a couple of months ago with the BDX system on it, and you and me, did a off the shelf with BDX, or a first look. I can't remember what video it was, and it's awesome. Mate, they were good, and I was really impressed by the BDX. I think I actually put it on my sour 223 review. I had the BDX on that. Man, I just synced it up with the Ballistics app, and wherever I said 322 meters, bang, first shot, it was on. I was pretty damn impressed with that whole system. For a hunting rig, yep, I think it's good. Yeah, but carry extra batteries, because like anything with batteries, just have extra batteries on hand, because you don't want it to run out during the night and your hunting trip's over.
Yeah. Mick Becker said here too, he said all online purchases overseas attract GST. And then JR said anything from overseas, you have to pay GST no matter the price. So I just like to find out. And then someone says anything over 1,000, but who do you pay that to? Do you pay it to customs when the scope comes into the country, or do you pay it from the online person that's supposed to charge GST, like the actual company you're buying it from? So if anyone knows that, you pay it on importation to customs. That'll be interesting to find out. But again, it's a bit hard. I get freaked out that if I buy something so expensive, I'm going to have no warranty. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Nah, but maybe not yet anyway. No way.
Yeah, well, actually on eBay, when you buy little bits and pieces, like a $4 item, you get slugged 40 cents GST. So, yeah, I think it could be anything. But other stuff on eBay, you don't get slugged. It's just really weird. I think it's just, I think, and you got to pay that on that price when you hit pay. So who knows where that money goes?
Yeah,
Joe Hockey started that from the Liberals, I think.
But then again, I bought the Hawk scope from London because what I wanted, they just didn't have here in Australia to buy, and I think it was only $180, but that was probably a year ago now. I think just before the GST stuff, so I didn't pay any GST. I just got it straight to my door. Didn't have to pay any of that. It didn't get held up. I mean, it took a while to get here, but I didn't have any of that issues. And Harp said, yeah, he paid a custom broker to get it released, and then $290 GST. Is that $290 for the whole lot, GST inclusive, and the brokerage fee, or was that the total cost? Let us know the total cost. One thing, Aaron, too, a couple of guys are saying here too about the scopes, the new Vortex Strike Eagle too, maybe for that $1,000 mark, which the other fellow was talking about, maybe under, was that Aussie Capitalist? Was that Happy Hunter wanted under $1,000?
Yep. Yeah. And Megan, yeah. That's certainly something to look at. And I think they come in quite high powers as well.
But, I think you're better off, again, if you can buy Australian, that's better off just for the warranty. But, I mean, hey, it's your money. I always say, mate, if you can get a better deal, that's I guess, money in your pocket. That's entirely up to you. It's your money.
I've always been a bit skeptical for people. I know people out there on social media have said, oh, buy overseas, blah, blah, blah. But, man, you buy something in, and we all know everything has a lemon. You get it, and it's stuff. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't. If I was the importer of that scope, and you go, here, I bought this on eBay, fix it. No way. So now you've got to go send it back to America. They're going to fix it, and I'm sure they're not going to pay for the international postage, then international postage again, and then hope like hell customs don't take it off you. To me, scopes and big ticket items, too much of a risk. I'd only ever buy in Australia.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's not a comment, but it's just little eyeballs from Hootie Who, the YouTube channel Hootie Who.
Oh, cool.
You
must be way down the bottom, because I can't see that yet.
I'm just going to look at how many Hootie Who YouTube, how many people he's got on his YouTube channel. Sorry, mate, you can keep going. Yep, go on.
Yep. Okay, got one here. Here's a good one. How's your ammo situation going there? Good. I need more, though. Always need more to make those reviews. Not bad. The 22 ammo, I stocked up a while ago, and I do a lot of reloading. You've got to reload, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, Hootie, got 122,000, man. It's good to see him here checking out the stream.
Awesome. Oh, welcome. That's awesome. It's always good to see other YouTubers on here. I love talking to other YouTubers as well, because you and me talk about stuff, Jason, about social media and what we've experienced and that. And And yeah, we always have a good laugh with all the other YouTubers, the overseas YouTubers, the monster channels I've talked to have like over 1 million subscribers. They have the same dramas with people that what you and me have for bugger all subscribers. It's seems pretty generic, and it's always good to have a good laugh about
Yeah,
that sort of stuff. So welcome.
yeah. Just he'll be disappointed when he hears how bad our gun laws are if he's been watching earlier.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, so you're way down the bottom, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just. If you come down from the top, man, I'm just, because again, we're not going to get through all those questions, man. So just, we'll you hit the top, I'll just hit a little bit of the bottom. If something pops up that's worth talking about.
Oh, here's something that you and me have been talking about, actually. Oh, Jesus, it's flicking around everywhere.
Let me just
Uh,
see who's actually commented this time. He said, "Ammo hard to find right now in the US. Awesome, you reload." Yep, mate. We've been here. We just did a live stream last week on that hoodie. Yeah, we're going to start. We haven't seen much of it yet, but we probably are going to see it soon. If you guys are obviously missing out, you're the number one priority in the world. Pretty much, we get the dregs even after New Zealand, as far as I'm aware. New Zealand even has a priority than Australia.
well, I remember I could have been federal when the last 22 ammo shortage happened. New Zealand got container loads of 22, and because the shooters in Australia said, "Hey, not good enough, we need it as well," they actually diverted a few containers from New Zealand stockpile to Australia because we weren't going to get it. So yeah, Hootie, it's never good here. Nothing is good here in Australia. Trust me. I'll talk to you after the show. Yeah, the stories Jason and me can tell you is not good. So this is something Jason and me talked about yesterday about the Athlon. Athlon scopes seem okay. Had a go of one a while back on a Hauer 223 target rifle. They are doing gangbusters in the US from what I can see. Rex reviews, he raves about them, and they're a Chinese scope, and I think they're in the top 10 selling scopes in the US market right now for a Chinese scope. So yeah, I haven't actually seen them in a gun shop here. I don't know if they're being imported here.
One thing, just jump on that super chat quickly.
Oh, yep, sorry, didn't see that. This is from Jake the Snake. Maybe tomorrow you'll answer me your dues.
Maybe now you'll answer me your dues.
Oh,
Hasn't gotten a new gun license since the original lockdown started. I'm in Victoria, and I applied 3 months ago. Well, mate, at the end of the day, too, man, I've been waiting 8 months almost for my reapplication to go through. Reapplied in February. Gun license expired at the end of April, 23rd, 24th of April. Mate, we're almost in September, and I'm still waiting, mate, so it wouldn't surprise me. But yes, mate, there's so many comments here, we can't reply to everyone, unfortunately.
That super chat just disappeared. I'm very sorry about that. It just disappeared while I was trying to read it. It's gone. So the Athlons. You and me talked about the Athlons, how good they were. People are raving about them. And they don't bust the bank, but I've never seen them in a gun shop in Australia. What are you smirking at?
No, I'm just reading some of these comments in just I'm on actually on the stream, just watching the new ones come in, see if anything's important. But yeah, mate, you'll be waiting a long time, mate. Listen, I guess the best advice that I can give, ring them up if they fob you off. Just go ring up the minister's office and say you need to advocate on your behalf because they're not getting back to you and they've had more than enough ample time to respond to a firearms license. So, mate, call your local member, get them to advocate on your behalf, or call the police minister's office, which would be what's her name again? What's that? She looks like the guy from Summer Heights High. Come on, guys. I've just gone blank tonight. I'm having a shocker. Lisa Neville. So contact Neville's office and say what's going on. I can't get my license. They're just fobbing me off. They'll write them a letter and advocate from your behalf. And then sometimes you'll find within about a couple of days to a week, you'll get a call from them. Or because now they've been forced to actually do something because the minister's involved.
Oh, we got Theo here. Do they sell flintlock pistols in Australia? Yes, they do. They have a whole contest for black powder and all that. Yep, you can buy them here on your H license as the black powder. I don't know what category they fall under because our pistol licenses are now broken into different categories like air rifles, centre fire, 9mm, and all that crap, high cal. But yeah, you can. I've seen them shoot at pistol clubs, the old black powder, and it's something I've always interested me. I've never shot a flintlock pistol. I've always wanted to. Never done it.
Hey, this is a good one too. Old Hootie, who says, I've had several people say I need to come to Australia and hunt some kangaroos. Yeah, if you've got a permit, Hootie Hoo, because everything is, you need a permit for in Australia, or is either banned or you need a permit for, one or the other.
Yeah, definitely. If we want to go hunting, Hootie, hit us up. We'll take you hunting here in the outback. Just hit us up and we'll sort something out for you. Not a problem. I'd love to. Okay, just lots of talking I'm seeing amongst each other.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just sort of saying here too, 15 to 20 weeks for gun licenses in Queensland. Dave Curtay says, email your police commissioner, they'll get right on it. Police commissioner or, police minister, preferably Lisa Neville if in Victoria. Who's what's his name in what's the guy in New South Wales? I've had a shocker tonight remembering people. David Elliott, police minister in New South Wales. David Elliott will get right on it for you after he's finished shooting his MP5.
Yeah, no, yeah, wasn't it? No, it was a 45 a UMP, wasn't it?
Yeah, or whatever. I thought it was whatever it was, fully prohibited Cat-R firearm, and he's still. There was a thing going around a couple of weeks ago. They had him on video and trying to defend himself. And man, what's that been since March? And they can't even figure anything out, whether to charge him or not. Like, you've committed a crime. Funny how with people like me and you, we get charged fairly quickly.
And what he did was up for a normal civilian was 14 years in prison.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, but he'll never get that. He'll never get that.
Exactly. I'm just going through these comments.
I'll read up one while you're looking at that one. Harry H said in New South Wales, Cat-A submitted Thursday, issued Tuesday. Yeah, if you do it online, they're fairly quick. It's pretty if it's category A and B, it's pretty quick. Takes about a week and a half, I think, to get to you, something like that. But yeah, licenses, man, God knows how long I'm going to have to wait, man. Another couple of months to who knows.
Yeah, well, that's why I always have Jason up on this. I just renewed my license on my birthday this year. And it came through. My handgun license came through within 24 hours, approved, and my AB license was within a week. I got it. So yeah, wasn't bad at all here in Queensland. Not saying they're doing a good job, but a lot faster than what you guys are doing.
Yeah, let me just say one thing, and someone just said it in the comments there, but I actually got this on Instagram. It says, mate, just saw a video. I'll try and get the video if I can, about how licensing registration agency has been sending license suspension notices to firearms owners for breaching COVID-19 directives. Then cops come and take your guns. And then he goes, some person, I won't say the name, just sent that to me. Do you think there's any truth to that, do you think? I figured if anyone knows, it'll be you. You'll have to be one of the front men when they come for our guns. Well, again, mate, it wouldn't surprise me. Again, I know that I've seen it in Queensland and New South Wales and other states too. If you commit too many traffic offences, they write to you and say, well, mate, you've committed too many traffic offences. Are you a person of good character? And can you, basically handle a firearms license if you can't obey the law? Listen, again, they're not really excludable offences under the law. It's not fraud. It's not assault. It's not any of those things. So really, there's no jurisdiction for that, but they do try it on, and then you're better off getting a lawyer to write your response back, because if you don't, you could screw it up and do yourself out of a firearms license.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the excuses they come up with could be endless. Once again, laws are open to interpretation. That's how it's written here in Australia. So if they just got a bee in their bonnet, they can nail you for it, really. What does perceive a fit and proper person, really? Well, you say the wrong thing on the internet. You tell a joke that's funny and someone gets butthurt. Does that deem you not a fit and proper person? It's just so varied. It just doesn't. Yeah, they can nail you on anything, guys. Absolutely anything.
Yeah. Well, we've heard them on, plenty of things, just, health issues, things like that. That's just, I mean, most people don't have health issues, but, that's why we said opt out of the mandatory health, the way they track your health. What was it? The mandatory, what was it called again?
Yeah, that was a few years ago. Yeah. Another way of tracking you. Yeah. Your health records becoming not public, but the government can get their grubby hands on it and, look into things that you're doing. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Uh, okay, we're just looking up here. Man, there is so many. We've never had this many comments before. Uh,
Yeah, lots coming in saying,
oh,
Ruger,
yeah.
let's talk about the Ruger Charger. They're just having a discussion about 6.5 Creed, best for long distance in Canada. Oh, yeah, best for here too, buddy. That was from Tommy Gunn. Yeah, lots of things coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jesus, it's everywhere.
Yeah, no, there's lots coming in at the moment. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my mate on the stream, but I can't send him a link. So I'm just trying to get him on the live. She's the one that just sent me about the potential COVID restrictions. So while I'm at it, I'm just going to go on your video and see if I can send him a link to the video, man.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe we should try and start talking a little bit about our topic as well on picking a long-range rifle, because we did sort of neglect this into a Q&A, isn't it?
Yeah, man, we've been smashing it. We've hit scopes. We've gone heaps tonight. Talking about a lot of different things: scopes, rifles, laws, the new
gun bands,
the new 6.5 PRC, the Ruger Charger. Man, Jesus, we've really hit a few tonight.
Yeah. The topic of the show was sort of mute, wasn't it? Because we hardly talked about it. And Jason and me love our long range shooting. We're both beginners. We both enjoy it. We have a sort of an idea of what we're doing, but we're never going to say we're experts at it. So, but we just absolutely love it. So, Jason has got this week coming out, haven't you? The Terminal Ballistics.
Yeah, Nathan Foster from our Terminal Ballistics coming out on the 26th. So that'd be next Wednesday. We're going to talk to Nathan Foster from Terminal Ballistics. That should be pretty fun. Some of the things he said I just really enjoyed. I mean, I think it might annoy a few people that have got some certain items, but I had these items too. And I think he had some very, very good points, even though somewhat he was a person I was probably part of the person he was talking about based on what he said. So yeah, listen to it. It's really exciting. Talks about match bullets, calibers, long range shooting, and yeah, it's a good show. I think it's a fantastic show. Actually, I really enjoyed it. About an hour and 40 minutes. I think it goes for well over 100 minutes. So
yeah, I reckon we're going to do I reckon we could talk a bit about the stuff that you told me about the show and an up and coming video, because some of it's very interesting about the use of bubble levels and things like that. Well, I'm a big bubble level fan. I think if you're shooting, especially shooting targets, bubble levels are important.
yeah.
And Nathan does not like gadgets and things hanging off your rifles. He's a purist.
Yeah, he's made some good points on some things. Like I run muzzle brakes on some of my rifles, and he said, listen, if you're buying the gun, you probably should learn to shoot it, without it before you actually go and put a muzzle brake. A lot of people believe, not going to go too much into the show, but a lot of people, you said, believes that the body can't really handle the pressure and the backdraft of a muzzle brake, and the body just doesn't like it. And when it goes off, people tend to, sort of make funny faces. And he goes, he had a guy that had a muzzle brake on and then took it off and then literally was putting round after round on top of each other. So, he's a bit of a purist, but he said, get the basics down first, I think was the message there. But I'll let people listen to it. But I mean, he's an experienced guy, mate. If you've seen his YouTube channel, he's punching goats at 900 meters to a kilometer sometimes, and sometimes on the move. Like, wow,
Yeah, he's done. He knows his stuff, and he's written several books on it as well. Yeah.
Shout out to Nick too, if he's watching. He's the one that, I won't say his last name, obviously, but he's the one that just told us about the vid on the licensing registration about COVID, maybe not getting a license if you get a COVID fine. I mean, they don't forget, they're not just looking at criminal record. They can look at everything, how many fines you've got for a car, other things, any other particular issue where you've broken the law, even if it's minor.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a funny one from Choco. Bubble level. What the fuck? Yeah. When you're target shooting, you need to stay consistent. Consistent is absolutely a must. If you're trying to get the little groups, it's a must. So I put bubble levels on everything, because even my hunting rifles, because I like to take my hunting rifles out and plink at them. I try and push them out as far as I can. So I try and stay as consistent as I can with the bubble level. So yeah, I do use bubble levels and everything, and you'll see them on my hunting rifles, like on my Browning and my SIG. I have the hunting rifles, and I have bubble levels on, because when I do come to plinking and having a bit of fun and try and push that 223 out to 700-800 meters, I just think you've got to be consistent, and being level is a very good way of being consistent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely need them. Oh, geez, and these are really coming in thick and fast, these questions.
Man, we've almost gone. We're just coming up on 2 hours, so it's been a bloody good show. I'm just keen to see what the answer numbers are going to be. Like, are they going to be as good as last week?
I think we broke our record at one stage, got almost 180 at one time. So I think it's going to be pretty good. So Dustin Holmes, g'day Aaron. What barrel life are you expecting to get from the 6.5 PRC before groups start to open up? Well, my 300 rum, they say 600 rounds. I shot that within a month, I reckon. Jason remembers when I bought that.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah, I was using it like a machine gun, and it's still, well, before I lost the stock on it, I'm going to get a new stock. It was still going perfect. But what I talked about, what I was told by a long range shooter, every 1,000 rounds, no matter what rifle, re-zero it in, because it will change slightly. So every 1,000 rounds you put through a rifle, just re-zero it in. But out of that, it's only going 29.50 at this stage as in speed. So it's not like it's breaking the 3,000 mark or faster. So I'm expecting.
I think it's the 7 millimeter wannabe. It's the 7 millimeter wannabe, isn't it?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, guys, if you want to see how we fared against each other, go look at the 6.5 versus the 260 grandpa video that Jason and me made.
Mind you, he said he's never been able to replicate that group again, so it was just luck on the day, I can't wait to go for a second and third round again to see if he can, just see if he can actually pull it off yet again, but we'll see.
Yeah. If any of us are allowed to travel ever again.
But that's the problem. I've only got the standard 6.5. You've got a Magnum 6.5. So what is it 6.5 versus a 300 Win Mag? What are we going here?
Mate, I'll go the rum against the Rim Mag and nail you every single time.
Oh, well, I won't even say that. Well, you know what I'm going to say about the 800-meter gong. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it there.
And a gun that wasn't sighted in.
Oh, yeah. Marty had his 308. Ding, ding, ding. And Aaron's like...
Okay, here's another question we have. A Tikka. I have a Tikka and 300 Win Mag. A great long-range rifle all day. Now, you had a 300 Win Mag and a Tikka, and you had to sell it because you realised it was a great mistake that you did, wasn't it?
No. Well, listen, it will shoot 180s all day of the week, I reckon. It's not a true long action. So pretty much anything over that 180, you've got to seat fairly deeply. And yeah, chances are it still would have shot with the 208 grain, but I wanted to seat them further out. The only way to do that was to get a true long action firearm that actually ran on something like AICS mags, where I can seat them out to 3550, 3575. I think mine are 3550 with a 208 grain. So, you should have seen them when they're at 3340 in the Tikka mag. It just looks odd, man. It doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right to me. They're seated way too deeply, in my opinion. And, if you ever got that gun rebarreled, is it going to shoot again the same way with a new barrel? It may not. So I just thought, nah, it's all right. I lost $500 on it, and I'm more than happy with the Bergara, man. I think I'm going to shoot it I'll probably smash rabbits tomorrow afternoon, and then do the low development Saturday. So keep on Instagram and Facebook for the stories. I'll be putting stories up.
I can't wait. I'll share it for you as well. I can't wait to see that working. Okay, Nicholas Blackwell. What's a better long-range caliber, boys? 6.5 Creedmoor or 7mm Rim Mag? I have personally liked the Rim Mag only research.
Yeah, I mean, I got a Rem Mag. It's a great hunting rifle. I mean, it's going to have Magnum 7mm, so it's going to. I think it's definitely going to outperform, especially with some of those good bullets. 162 ELDX. I think it's 175 ELDMs as well. 178 ELDMs. They're pretty good too. So very, very good. There's a lot of calibers coming out, man. But again, if you're not reloading, stick with the ones that the major ones, so you can actually. It's not going to cost your arm and a leg or your kidney, trying to just be able to feed the thing.
Yeah, like the PRC. Was it? I think 200 rounds is something like $700-800.
The Sydney Militia says the 7.62 by 39 greater than the 6.5 low. I don't know about that, man. Not sure about that.
We're getting back to the question from Nicholas. The 6.5 Creedmoor, I tell you what, I used to rag on it, but when I got that Lithgow, man, flat shooting, fast round, Jason's handled it. He's seen the groups, mate, getting consistent groups that big at 1,000 meters. I was converted, to be honest. I was converted. I always thought bigger the better. Smash it with something like my 300 run, but yeah, tell you what, less time in the air is less of a chance it's going to be affected by conditions.
Yeah. Steve Muller says, is your Bergara stock standard? Yeah, it's the HMR, which is for the hunting match rifle. It's quite nice. I wasn't sure at first, stepping away from one brand to another, pretty much incentivized for the first time. So yeah, man, those Bergaras, they're not bad at all. The sours are good too. I've had used Aaron's with the sours, fantastic for the price point as well for hunting. Yeah, man, there's some great guns out there. Really was sport for choice, But then again, I just don't want the bastards to ban my bolt actions because, that's probably what they're going to try on next, man. The militarized bolt actions.
Exactly, man. I can't wait till you bring that Bergara up here. I think you got a real good deal, and it's a beautiful looking gun. It really is.
They're saying I should get a 338 Lapua Magnum, but unless you've got like the places I got to do your load development, it might have 4 hours away from my house, so they won't even let you shoot the thing at the range. So especially in Sydney, at least the ones that I know of, like Silverdale, SSAA St Mary's, those as well.
Yeah, well, I turned 50 in a year, so I am buying myself. I'm saving up right now for a 338 Lapua. I want something very nice. So sound off the comments what I should buy in a 338 Lapua. Something that's not going to bankrupt me, of course, but that is going to be my next long-range gun is a 338 Lapua. That's for sure. Here's something funny. Spud guns from Tommy Gunn. Spud guns legal in Australia? No, they're not. They are considered a firearm and a pistol.
Are they? Remember the old one used to jab it into a potato and go poop, and you used to pop it. I don't know if those ones are, but
yep, they are. They fire a projectile. I talked to a guy a few years ago who was a toy collector, classic toy collector. Brought like 1,000 of these things from the 50s in the original cellophane packaging. Brought them in. Customs ripped like half a dozen open, and they're worth like $500-600 a pop, sort of thing. Ripped them open. These are firearms. These are concealable firearms. You need to stamp every single one with a serial number. And he goes, I can't open these and stamp the serial number. They ruin them. These are collectors' antique toys. No, they fire a projectile with air. They're a Category A firearm at minimum, but they fall because of short barrel. They fall under a Cat H, a pistol license. That was in Victoria. He said, stuff it. You owe me a shitload of money for ripping the packaging open, and he had to go find a seller overseas and then just on-sell them straight overseas. And so that was a spud gun in Australia.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about the 6mm arc as well. So yeah, I'm keen to see whether that's going to take off or not. Someone's JL Joinery talking about the Christensen's Arms MPR 338 lap. I'm just keen to see. I know I've shot your Remington Ultra Mags, but I can't. It's 6 years ago now, so I can't really remember it. So I'm keen to see. I might even try the Bagara because it's not a full varmint barrel. It's sort of in between. It's a 19 mil profile, I think. So I'll be keen to see without the brake. I might shoot it without the brake first and then put the brake on there and see how much it makes a difference. I've only got one of those gun bloke brakes for about $110, but people swear by them and say they're pretty good. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. Oh, here's Dave. Mini action in 6mm arc. Yeah, well, if they make them, it'll be interesting to see. But I think it's only come to fruition, this arc round, because of the military. They're looking at doing a few things in it. So, yeah, once again, it's hard to choose. We talked about this in the last long-range video. How do you choose these calibers? There's so many new fandangle things out there every month. Try this new one, this new one.
I just going a bit overboard, man. I mean, what's the difference? What can they do to what's the 6 mil? I mean, I'll have a look at it for the next show. It's 6 mil arc. I mean, it'd be interesting to find out what they actually do. Is it just a Magnum 6 mil? Why don't just say that? You know what I mean? Like, what was it getting better ballistics? I mean, using the same, you only got so many bullets to choose from in 6mm. So what bullets are you going to be running out of it? You know, like, is it a mag? I'd say it's just going to be probably 200-300 feet a second faster. Could be wrong, but that's my guess.
No, it's made for the AR platform. So it's
say again, what was that?
It's made for the AR platform.
Okay.
I talked about it on one of the live shows, the one that you went away hunting on, and I was talking about it. Yeah, it got released that day. Yeah, they're going to make Howard is going to make a bolt action in it. But once again, is it going to turn out like the 224 Valkyrie? And what we got coming is the 277 Fury from Sig Sauer. And they reckon that's going to be an absolutely, a bull whacker. It's going to be an awesome round.
Yeah.
So it's another gun that's coming out that I'm very keen in having a look at, and I might be buying one, is the Sig Sauer Cross tactical rifle.
Yeah, right.
That's like a real upmarket sort of Ruger precision rifle. They're going to go for about $5,000. I'm very, very keen. If they made that in long action, it'll be awesome.
It's interesting because Explosive Bagara says the Seiko TRG 45 338 Lapua. Yeah, I'm probably going to have no money left. Mardo 3787, the DTA SRS. I'm not sure what that is, but maybe. C. Henderson, why does 6.5 Creedmoor? Here's one for you, Aaron. Why does 6.5 Creedmoor get such a bad rap? I don't know one, but I've shot a couple and it seems like an impressive cartridge to me.
I don't know. It's just like, good question. I think people just pick up the ball and run with it. You get the inner city folks. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm stumped.
There's a few memes.
I just don't know.
I won't be too descriptive, but everyone's seen that meme where the 6.5 Creed bros, where the guys are slapping their wangs together, so to speak. So, they got the man bun round. I think it was just because it was the new kid on the block, and obviously it had very good push, very good marketing by Hornady. But Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been around a long time. It's been like 10 to 15 years Creedmoor's been out. But it's only been since the military were trialling it that it's come down in price because it's more available because of the military.
Yeah. Gabriel said Savage 110 in 338 Lapua Magnum. Long Range Hunter was the cheapest 338 he said he can find. So, and then one last one here. David Curtis says 6.5 Creedmoor, the Justin Bieber cartridge.
But man, I was the same. But when I got that Lithgow and you shot it, it was impressive, and it was very impressive. Is C. Kim from Arizona? Hello, Arizona, USA. Crazy bands in Australia. Yes, they are. Yep. Obviously, you do follow. I know you follow my channel, and we talk about it. Americans can't believe the crap we do and the embarrassment the police are in the world stage of trying to ban stuff like the gel blasters.
Here you go. Here's going on from that, probably a little bit related. Sydney Militia said, what are shooters in New South Wales going to do about the 9mm Ruger? So obviously about the ban today. What are they going to do, you reckon?
Is it going to be like the shooters in Queensland with the wedge tail when that was confiscated, no compensation? They all got together and went to court and won. Okay, there was some repercussions from what I heard from the police getting vindictive because they were made fools of again. But I don't know. What are the organisations going to do? A union is meant to fight for you. Are they going to fight for them? Is FFAA? End of the day, we talked about this today. At least FFAA, I'll give them two things. They have a range. They have ranges. And they don't advertise that they're going to do something and don't do it. They just don't do it. Everyone expects FFAA to do fucking nothing. And they have ranges. So I'll give them that much. They don't talk themselves up. So I don't know what's going to happen. Either people are going to fork out the money and take on the government, or hopefully the NSC will pick up the slack yet again from the organisations and do something about it, or let's see an organisation pick up the ball and actually take them head on.
Yeah, but they need the NSC needs support from the ones that, basically have got the money. I mean, it's just absolute complicit in further gun bans. If these ones, why is the NSC? Tell me this: why is the NSC a Victorian-based organisation fighting a WA-based issue, which is good because they're National Shooting Council. I know they spoke to, listen, coming from Neil, they spoke to SSAA WA and WAFTA, which is the Western Australian Firearms Traders Association. And again, quote unquote, only from what I understand, they weren't interested in helping. So that's what you've got to deal with in Western Australia, that organisations just won't go into bat and for the greater good to work together on this particular issue, which is kind of sad. Just they gave up already, which is quite sad. Well, no point having Western Australian Firearms Traders Association or SSAA if you've got no fucking guns to shoot over there. So good luck in that in the future if you're going to keep that sort of attitude up. Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Yeah.
I just don't... 5 to 10 minutes because I've got to get to bed soon, man. It's I've got to get up at 3:30 in the morning, so maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, we'll just ask a couple. There's just so many questions. So I'm looking through them. It's out of date. I can't believe we've had over 700 questions tonight. That's unbelievable. And our biggest show, it peaked at the biggest time. Every week it just gets further and further going forward. It's just amazing. Jason and me are blown away every week. It's amazing. And you guys support us. It's absolutely unreal. Basically, just a lot of in-talking here. I'll just go down to the bottom. A lot of in-talking. Geez. Yeah.
It says they just want your membership money and money when you go to their shooting range, nothing else. Well, it'd be nice if they use that money. Like I keep hoping one day they're going to, change. I give them opportunity after opportunity, and then probably a couple of weeks ago I just thought, it's not coming. It's never going to happen. Why do I keep pretending and wasting, lying to myself that they're actually going to do something when we all know they're not going to? And, I wish it wasn't the case. Me and Aaron talk about this. I don't like to put shit on them, but, they bring it on themselves mostly. Most of you guys know that. Any smart shooter out there knows, that they haven't really done anything, and hey, Aaron, just go to that, go to the bottom. Are you right at the bottom?
DNC, Jason Fisher.
Yeah. He's asked that about 20 times now, man. I think you need to cut that off, dude.
Okay,
It's the exact same thing 20 times, dude, like word for word.
Yeah, okay, we'll knock him on the head. Not a problem.
If you're not legit, I don't know why you keep asking the same question. That's the 20th time I've seen it with the same thing. But anyway, you get a few people sometimes.
Exactly. JR, once again, started the show with the super chat and finishes with the super chat. Thank you very much. Night, boys. Great show. Thank you very much, JR. Very much appreciate it. And you're a great supporter of the show. Nice bloke. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, we'll start to wrap up here. There's a lot of just in-house talking, and we've been going for 2 hours. So, people must be getting sick of us talking.
No, it's still, and it's maintained pretty solid, guys, at about between 140 and 170. So, mate, this is getting bigger and bigger each week, guys. Getting bigger and bigger each week, and a lot of things to talk. I don't think we're ever going to run out of things to talk about. There's always something happening. So,
Yeah, exactly. Like we talked about just before we went live. Should we change the name from long range, picking a long range gun, to this big ban that's happening? And yeah, just that spur of the moment, it happened. Literally 5 minutes after I posted what we're going to talk about. I'm sorry we didn't talk a lot about the long range guns, but we will bring it up. We have one coming up very soon to do with long range rifles. Very soon, actually. Good comparison that we're going to talk about. So maybe this one will flow into that. But yeah, just unreal. It really is. Every week it blows me away, blows Jason away. We can't believe how nice you guys are for supporting us from week to week. It's just been amazing. It really has. It's very humble to see you guys like us. Yeah, we just try and speak our mind. We're no bullshit, and we give you our honest opinion on what you talk about. It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
we love it. Absolutely love it. It's
Some
been
people
fantastic.
seem to like the format of, me sort of reading from the bottom as well and getting those questions as they're sort of coming in. So maybe that's what we'll do next week as well. I'll sort of, you do the questions as they pop up, and I'll sort of, hit some from the bottom if we haven't. We'll just keep going through them. If we answer them, if we bring them up, well, what can you do? But we'll try our best. And some people saying good luck on a hunting trip, mate. Yeah, I hope so, dude. I hope I'm going to get some footage for the YouTube channel. I just do it for a bit of fun, so it's not something I'm serious about. But I do like making videos. So AHP Outdoors. Hopefully by early September, I'm going to have another rabbit hunting series out. It didn't rain today where I'm going, but it's supposed to be pissing down today. 10 to 20 mils, 10 to 20 mils tomorrow, and not good Saturday either. So, man, I've just got to see what happens down there, see what I can do. I've got my gazebo, I've got my tent, I've got my heater. I'm rearing to go and ready to go. So hopefully I can get and film, and it's not going to ruin my camera equipment, my drone, to get it up in the air and get some footage. So,
Well, we've had dust storms the last 2 days. Today, I've been working up on the farm, 85 km/h winds. Whole
windy
of
down
Brisbane.
as well. Same here.
The whole of Brisbane was covered in dust. I'll put some photos up tomorrow. It's unbelievable. Like I'm meant to be going out shooting tomorrow, Arvo, with a couple of friends, and yeah, if it's this windy, we're just not going to be able to do it. For accuracy, but yeah, we'll have to take some fun guns out. But yeah, we're not going to be sighting anything tomorrow. It's like you could hardly stand up outside today, and the dust over Brisbane was unbelievable. It was shocking. Yeah, I want to
Couple
say
of
thank
Sorry, go on.
I want to thank Phantom HD for the $10 super chat. Very appreciate that. Very nice. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Phantom.
Some Chris Monteo, if I got that right, says smash the bunnies. Yep, that's the plan, man. I've got so many guns to take tomorrow: 243, 260, 300 wins, 7 mil, and 22. But a couple of those just for thing. And someone asked me what camera do I use for scope shots. I just use my DSLR with a 55 to 250 lens, and then sometimes with a bit of extra digital zoom on it. I try not to go too far because it's not very good in low light. So I just try my best to get those afternoon shots. But yeah, man, I just use a DSLR and a drone, and I don't get the footage from the drone. But hey, I might even do that. I might try and fly up on some rabbits this time and see if they'll run away when they see the drone or they hear the drone. Good idea.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I love my drone. Jason and me bought the same drones within days of each other while we're up in Queensland. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? But they do make a lot of noise, so I reckon they'll be spooked. Could be wrong. Hope not, because it'll be good. Exploding rabbits from a bird's eye view. Awesome.
I'm just responding. We're not going to answer the questions. I can just respond here while I'm talking to you guys too.
Yep. So tomorrow, guys, the review will be up of the Ruger PC Charger, the 9mm, the banned one today. The review will be up. So I've put 300 rounds through it so far. And if it's not banned in Queensland, there is going to be a follow-up review on a very interesting bit of a, I don't know how to say it, really. It's going to be, okay, part 2 later down the track is going to be interesting. What I'm going to shoot up with it at a legal range, and we're going to run some contests with it, some steel plate contests, and show you what it can be done if it's not banned in a couple of months' time. But after 300 rounds, that seemed to work all right. There was one big issue with the gun that you will see, and it was a major issue in my eyes, a design flaw. So stay tuned for tomorrow for that. It'll probably be out around 3-4 o'clock. I'll put the review out, but yeah, you'll find out how it went and see how it went and see what the big design flaw of that gun is.
Let me just do these quick runs too. Someone talks about it was Sydney Militia talking about scope cam. They try to do it. It does get difficult. That's why I shoot on the DSLR. But even then, you've got to be behind the gun, behind the muzzle brake, because if you don't, the muzzle brake, charge or whatever you want to call it, hits the legs of the tripod and makes the image move. So you've got to put it behind the shooter. But yeah, if you go high caliber and you've got a scope cam, anything above basically 243 is just, you're not really going to see it. Like, you got to stick to the 22 cals, and even braked, get a muzzle brake, because if you don't, if you can't see it, you're not going to be able to get it to work. So, and you're not going to be able to see it through the scope cam. That's why I just film off my DSLR. But man, it's going to be a cracker weekend. I just got to fucking touch wood. The rain doesn't come. Come on, do me a favor.
Yeah, I hope it all goes well for you, man. I'm going out in a few weeks' time as well, so yeah, here's hoping. I'm sure this wind and that would have dropped off by then. Yeah, I've tried the gadgets that go on the back of the scope. You use your phone and it drops off, and none of those things ever really work. I think the only foolproof one I've seen is that side mount thing, but they are a bit pricey. I'm actually saving up for one. A side shot, I think they're called, and I don't know how it works, but I've seen a few people use it, and I know that's what other YouTubers use. But I think with all my camera gear, the GoPros, the drones, I got more than enough angles. And what people don't realize, every video I make, you see in the video, I've got just as much as that on the cutting room floor. The amount of footage I take with all the different cameras, where do you stop?
You should see my front footwell of my passenger seat car right now, and the front passenger seat got cameras, drones, cords, cables, power bricks, different types of cables, USB-C, mini USB, iPhone cables. Man, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I think we can actually make a video one day about what equipment we use, because I get a lot of questions about that, what you use. But I use a Nikon camera, and it works a treat. Jason uses a Canon, and he loves it. Yeah. But it's
good show, man. Good show.
Yeah, we'll definitely call it a night. Jason's got to get up. Thank you so much, guys, for everything. And please hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and like it. Watch out for the review of the banned gun in New South Wales tomorrow. And listen to Jason's next podcast. It is going to be awesome, about the long-range terminal ballistics. So thank you very much for everything, and thank you for everyone who donated to the show tonight. We really, really appreciate it. It's you guys that make our shows actually happen. So have a good night, everyone, and have a safe week and a fun weekend, and hope you all get some trigger time. So we'll catch you next week at the same time. Good night.